Hi everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. It's your They, Them, I, and Gray here, and we are going to play more Golden Sun. Sorry I'm running a little bit late. I had a little bit of a Wi-Fi connectivity issue, so I had to reset a router. But, you know, these things happen, and, you know, minor setback. I have to always start back at the beginning of the screen, always before I start the game, because I want to see this intro every time. I always do. This was my childhood. So, for those unaware, you probably know if you're watching, but for those unaware, this is the 20th anniversary of Golden Sun. It came out 20 years ago, at least in Japan. I think in November was when it came out in the States. I don't really remember exactly, but it is certainly 20 years old. And I grew up with this game. I am very, very attached to it. So the music to it I am very attached to. I guess I should say that too. In particular, by the way, if you liked the music that you heard, the arrangement that you heard in the intro, you should check out TNA, Jonathan Shaw, on YouTube, who I have suddenly linked right now in chat. You know, that guy. He was the arranger, and he has a lot of very cool work. Anyway, so, without further ado, we are going to, I think, jump right into where we left off. This is, by the way, my second Golden Sun stream. So you can check out my first one if you would like. I think the VOD is still on Twitch. It's also my YouTube channel. It's just linked on my Twitch channel. We're just kind of hanging out, you know? We're vibing. We'd kind of like to cross this bridge, but there's some kind of sad music. Oh, drawbridge is not down because the guy that runs it is a tree. There's kind of a little tree guy over there, you know? Yeah, so we're on a bit of a mission right now. Our overarching mission is something kind of totally different, but this is, for better or worse, the side quest of the game, which is to say that, like, when things got kind of screwed over in the beginning of the game, the quest that we're kind of on our way to fix, it had a lot of ripple effects across the continent, as it turns out. Don't mind me as I kill these zombies. And a lot of bad things happened, and we kind of have to fix shit as we go. And so I call them side quests, but they're all very relevant to the main quest, as it turns out, once you do them, for the most part. Anyway, so really the issue isn't that guy is a tree, the issue is everyone here is a tree. So this is the lumberjack village of Kalima. You wouldn't really know it as that at the moment, considering how full of trees it is, and not people. But as we can find out from reading their minds, yeah, these are definitely tree people. But they're pretty cute for a tree, you know. So, we can't really do very much here at the moment. We could go shopping, but the shopkeeper is a tree. We could try to stay at the inn, but the innkeeper is a tree. We could talk to the local shaman, but the shaman is a tree. You know, you get it. So, we kind of found out a little bit about this when we came through Bilibin. Where we knew that there was a local noblewoman who was having a palace built, and they were like, oh, let's get wood by trying to chop down the Ents, and that was a bad idea, as it turns out. So, yeah, so we must right what was wrong. So, into Kalima Forest we go. So this is the area where they live. This starts the series' long and unfulfilled tradition of lots of log rolling puzzles, and also killing bees. Just kidding. There aren't that many bees. Well, I guess there are bees in every Golden Sun game. I think. I don't know. Anyway, something that I think is really interesting to point out, and I think contributes a lot to the world building of the game, is that not all, but most real-world most locations in this game have a real-world analog. So, for instance, we're in the world of Kalima right now. The spelling is not quite the same as it would be in Russian, but, well, granted, that's also a Cyrillic alphabet, but, Kalima's a real place. Actually, as is Bilibin, although it would be known here as Bilibino. So, everything, for the most part here, has some kind of real-world analog. Maybe the loosest connection is actually the area where we sorted out, which is what makes it not super obvious. That's kind of what keeps it more subtle. But yeah, lots of log rolling puzzles and such. This part of the forest has a kind of high encounter rate, weirdly, which is kind of annoying. One thing I do appreciate about the dungeons here is that whenever you encounter a more puzzle-heavy area, I would say, then the encounter rate is turned much lower, or sometimes just straight up off in that particular area. Mostly because the developers knew that it would be just frustrating to keep hitting enemies while you're trying to focus on the puzzle you're doing. Which, as a person who is not good at focusing, I'm really appreciative of that, frankly. I think that's nice. So yeah. Log rolling puzzle we go. Also, began a series-long tradition of having tree stumps that you cannot walk over. Just too tall. Too tall for you. I guess you gotta push this one. And snake around, I see. So, this is a game I have played many a time. That said, I will always encounter some puzzle and it'll take me a second to remember how to do it. But, I don't know, I think a lot of them are very well done. The excuse of, oh, you can't walk over this insurmountable waist-high fence, you know, that's... I mean, it's standard for JRPGs. I can't even really complain that much. Oh, that one's broked. Oh well, that's why. Another thing that you'll notice, well, maybe you won't notice here, is that as we go deeper in the forest, the vibrant, shocking green color is getting a little less green. I don't think I ever really noticed that until a certain part later in the game where you are kind of forced to observe that, but it is something that you can note. So I thought I'd point it out. Do not touch floodgate switch. We're gonna touch floodgate switch. We do want that there treasure chest though. This is another puzzle that I find really interesting because it's really two puzzles in one. It's a log rolling puzzle, but it's also a create a path puzzle, which seem very similar, and they are, but like create a path more so like in the building bridges kind of scenario. Okay, if we want to get up there, so if I wanted to do the easy version of this puzzle, which we'll do later, all I'd have to do is just this. But we actually have a little bit more we want to do here, I believe. I think we want this here. So I should have demonstrated this before I flipped the water switch, but I believe... so the idea is you can walk across these logs while they're floating, but you can't move the place that they're in while they are set. They're building a bridge, is what's happening. Ooh, that rolled too far down. I see. I see what to do. And then this down. Cool. So the thing to keep in mind here is that you can jump across gaps in this game, but only exactly one tile wide. So I think, let's see, that connects to here, jump, jump, jump. Yep, that looks right. Let's give it a try and see if it is. This music track is also something I have a particular fondness for. It's called Forest's Requiem. There are a couple of songs from this game that I have learned to play some version or another of on the piano. This is one of them. Don't know that I will ever demonstrate it for stream necessarily, mostly for technological difficulty reasons. Ooh, okay. Fur coat. Clothing that resists water, which is pretty useful, not for right now, but actually for later. I could really justify giving this to pretty much anybody. Ivan, however, is our, like, default squishy wizard. So, I mean, he makes the most sense. So that's a pretty good item for this point in the game, and the next point in the game, really. Alright, so I'm actually going to, since I kind of buggered with the logs enough, I want to just kind of reset the puzzle by walking out and walking back in. And I think to get up north, which is where we're ultimately going, that's all we need. Maybe I do remember more about these puzzles than I think I do. You know? It's hard to say what lies in your brain until you really go spelunking. Okay. Up here. Left here. Yes. Another nice thing is we can push this log back, and that gives us a way back if we choose to. And here in this last area, we'll really note how much darker it is. But we found him. We have found the Ents. Who are you? Oh, you are the one who resisted Tret's glamour? I sense a great warmth within you. If you came to rescue Tret, you are already too late. Love and Ent. Yep, it's Ent time. Here they are. Soon, Tret will die, and we shall wither away without him. Leave now, before this forest is destroyed. I don't know why I give her a weird accent. So, oh yeah, there's enemies here for some reason. I did a little bit of grinding off screen between streams, by the way. Mostly just so I wouldn't have to do it so much on screen. Anyway, here's Tret. He will not speak to you, child. I control all in Tret's realm. Oh, Mind Read just does the same thing. So, that's interesting. By interesting, I mean, hey, look, there's this vine here. Let's climb on inside him. You wanna just hang out in a dying Ent? How about that? How you feel about that? So, we're gonna do a little bit of navigation here. He's a bit, he's been feeling a bit hollow lately, so we're gonna, you know, take a look at that. So these leaves that you see here, oh, you don't currently see them. Yeah, fun weekend. Airbnb inside a tree. Spiders and all. There are a disconcerting amount of spiders inside him. I would think it's like, wow, revolutionary. The dungeon is inside the big tree that talks to you. But Ocarina of Time did it first. Actually, when did Ocarina of Time come out? Oh, that was late 90s, wasn't it? It would have been 98. Anyway, all the rage around those time, going inside a big tree. So these leaves, as you jump on them, they break, and if you jump on them again, you fall through. I just want to demonstrate it once, because that's kind of a mechanic to note for later. You get it. Anyway, let's just set shit on fire inside this dying, dry old tree. Super normal. Good idea. Airbnb tree. Oh, I love that. That's terrible. Nice. You're not here for Qualitree. Well, good. You're not going to find any. Let's see. So I guess we have to... do you want to go left or right here? So occasionally one must go out onto the branches. I don't want to fight every little thing out here. These guys are annoying. I really love, by the way, this sort of circle effect where you can get a better view at what's deliberately around you, or not deliberately. Immediately, that's the word. Immediately around you. Don't think that goes anywhere. Some of the branches are dead ends. Many, actually. I think we gotta go this way? That's the one. Right. I always get a little bit lost in here. This is where we wanted to go. Here we do want to go outside, so we can climb. Gotta go all the way up the tree. Ooh, Ivan's gonna die. We're gonna do a little healing here. Mostly because Ivan is likely to die. Oh, another thing I did off screen, kind of to go along with the grinding, involved a little bit of buying new armor, basically. I would like to go around there. I see some things that I enjoy. think I want this. Yeah, I do want that. Okay, so this is a healing ring. There are a couple of equipable items. Rings are kind of weird. Doesn't really matter whether you equip them or not. A couple of equipable items that are usable, and you can use them as many times as you want, except for every time you use them, it rolls a chance that it's gonna break. And you can have it repaired. It's pretty cheap, but you have to do it in town. So basically, it's an herb that is reusable a questionable number of times. And we gotta fall down. That's right. We'll make our way back up. Making our way up tree. Walk in. Something. Okay, I know there are a million words that rhyme with tree, but I just lost interest. You know. I can only handle so many tree puns in a short amount of time. But then short amount of times ends, and then I'm ready for more tree puns. You know, I just wasn't ready yet. All right. I think the way to progress is actually south here. You need some relief from the puns. You're just gonna keep going, aren't you? Not that I have a problem with that. But you're gonna do it. Do I want that Psynergy stone? I don't really need it. I'm not really that low on Psynergy. It's not worth it. Should we truncate him? Okay, that one's great. That one's excellent. I'm here for that. Oh, nope, this wasn't progress after all. I lied. I'll be felled eventually. I cannot believe how many you're coming up with. Which way do I want to go? Gonna have to branch out. Yeah, eventually we all must. Ah, there's a vine to climb inside. Right. Ooh, spooky ghosts. Little creepers. Is that why you find the ring on the inside of the tree? Because trees have rings? Oh, God. Is that really a thing? You have to be close to the end of your pun supply. That one's good, too. You're gonna make me have to put a trigger warning on this stream. Warning, puns. Nothing here? Yes. This is where I was thinking. We're trying to conserve my Psynergy and just kind of beat everything with sticks to death. Just because, you know, we got a big climb ahead of us here. And I believe we're gonna see a little friend here. Little friend. So, a reminder from last time, on our quest to do a bunch of elemental bullshit, something that was recommended to us was to collect as many Djinn as we come across. Generally these little guys. I have a real fondness for them, as you can tell from my glass I'm constantly drinking out of that has a Jupiter Djinni on it, which is this guy. And we're gonna go ahead and save, just in case. These things are very, very useful. They can be used to attack. They can be used together to summon, which I haven't really demonstrated that many summons on stream, have I? We'll have to do that. Also, while they are set, they can change your class. And so right here, Isaac by default is a squire, but we put a bunch of Djinn of his type on him, and now he's a knight. If we were to give these to Garrett, then Garrett would change class, and so this would be sort of a dual elemental class, because he has fire by default, this gives him earth, and so he has kind of a mix of the two. We'll play around with that probably a little bit more later when we have more Djinn under our belt. We're gonna put him under a nest. Boo, that one's bad. That one's rough. That one really sapped my strength. Boost party attack? Sure, I'll do that. Let's have some fun Djinn time. So as you can see, sometimes they have, oh wow, this one might kill us. Okay, great. We might be a little underleveled here still. Let's use that healing ring. Let's heal. I mean, Ivan's close to death, but Garrett kind of is too here. Ooh, that's not good. Oh, shit. You know what I think we're gonna do? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and, since I don't really have a way to revive anybody right now, we did, but I sold it because I needed the money. We're gonna take a different approach here. That one was bad. Next time, I'll make sure I can ask if I can do a really terrible one. Permission not accepted. Okay, were we not fully healed going into that? That was my mistake, if so. I really took that one for granted. Anyway, I think what we're gonna do here is demonstrate some fun, summons. Let's see. Let's do some summoning. So this is another strategy that's very common when you're playing the game, is to set all of your Jin going into a fight with the intentions of just like ripping some summons turn one. The downside to that is that the use of Jin is to make your stats much more good. So, you know, everybody's like stuck in their base classes if you do this. So it's a potent but risky strategy. So let's try that. Ooh, I haven't used Spire on stream yet. We got that one recently. That might help. I'm gonna have Garrett do Mars. So I think I have shown off Venus, which is the summon for a single Jin. Ramses is the summon for 2 Venus Jin. So they'll go up to 4. Punch. Yeah, that did a big chunk of damage. No, it's still alive. Okay. See, and now I cannot use my Jin because they are in recovery at the moment. And so where it says Flint 1, Granite 2, after 1 turn, Flint will come back. After 2 turns, Granite will be available. But in the meantime, we don't got him. Let's just beat him with a rock, see if that works. Ooh. Oh, no. Die faster. Do I heal with Ivan? So the thing is, Ivan is the squishiest, but he's also the fastest. And so I usually put my healing stuff on him. Just so that I can fix that fairly immediately. Yeah, we'll do this. There we go. There we go. That's what it took. I was gonna say, these things don't have a lot of HP, but they are kind of a threat sometimes. Isaac leveled up. Nice. As did Ivan. Wow, we got a lot of experience out of that. Mastered the Windseer's Plasma. Ooh, we got a new spell. Sorry, a new Synergy. Same diff. And a new friend. This is kind of notable, specifically because if you keep everyone in their mono elemental classes, in other words, put Venus Jin on Isaac, the Earth guy, put Mars Jin on Garrett, the Fire guy, you know, everyone matches up, then every time you hit 2 Jin, you get a class change. And sometimes it comes with a new synergy. So here, Ivan's gonna learn Impact, which I believe is a attack up buff. Yep, boost allies attack. That's pretty handy, actually. If you don't need to use Isaac, for instance, for a lot of healing, he actually has the highest attack power out of these guys, and so it's not a terrible strategy to just like keep on boosting his attack and let him beat the shit out of things. Oh, a fun chest. I'm gonna save because we have the Jin. Hey, okay, we got a nut. Yeah, okay. Sorry, just making sure they went to the right person. Looks like, there's not too much we can do here. I can jump on this leaf to try to cross, but down we go. See that hole in the middle? Huh, I wonder about that hole, you know? Any hole is a goal. Can I go left? Oh, I have to go back around, don't I? This is the part that gets a little confusing. By around this floor, some of the scenery gets a little samey, so... I think I want to... There's gotta be another path. This bit I do not remember exactly. Let's see. I think we can go left. Yeah, we can snake around here. Okay, let's see if this also goes up. I think it does. For some reason, it's very funny for me to think about how this whole thing would be impossible to progress through, whatever, if like a single one of these vines was cut. Like, which makes me think that part of the appeal of Tret's Airbnb tree, is to, part of the appeal is that, like, the inside of me is a puzzle dungeon. Hours of entertainment for you and your friends. Lots of spiders to kill. Make sure not to step on the golden leaf stuck in my webbing more than once, or you'll fall through to the bottom floor. Okay, great. Busted them all up. Good for us. You know, if I landed on the one, the leaf one spot to the right of there, could almost just, huh. Stupid gnomes. People are really, the little gnomes in here are just really unabashed about using big fire magic inside a dry, dying old tree. Just, don't feel great about that. Okay, let me heal. So I try to heal right after battles a lot of the time, mostly because as you run around in dungeons, your synergy points recover a little bit. So, you know, I try to heal before I go running around. Let's see, I'm gonna save again. Just in case I am an idiot and do the wrong leaf. I wanna say it's this one we want to fall through, the one I'm currently standing on, which means we gotta jump here, then... oh. Well... You know, this should really kill us. This should really cause death. That would be a dead person. That would be death. And yet, you know, here we are at the base of the tree. Oh, well, look who it is. You hoped to find my kindly self? Fools, you should never have come here, and now you shall never leave. Your powers protected you in the forest, but now you are in the heart of my power. Here, you will all become trees, and you'll wither with the rest of us. He has said I'm using my domain expansion. Anyway, so, we gotta fight Tret. We're in Tret, and we gotta fight Tret. You know. By the way, I've probably said this before, I don't really remember. I found this out as an adult. The reason his name is Tret is also a tree pun, because Tret tree, treachery. because of his treachery. Yeah. Anyway, so that's fun and new. Let's see here. I forget whether he's weaker to fire or to wind. Let's find out. Let's use Flare Wall and Plasma. Plasma is also very pretty. Ooh. Oh, it's fire. Got it. It's fire. You can tell by the punctuation. You can tell by the number of exclamation marks, which is kind of funny. Let's see. Granite isn't bad here. So Granite's a pretty useful gen. Basically, whenever I use Granite, the person using him moves first, and then your whole team takes 50% damage that turn. I believe. It might not be exactly 50, but something like that. Let's see, I guess I'm gonna use up all Garrett's synergy then. Let's see. How to most efficiently do this. I can do 3 flare walls. I think I just better do that. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that strategy I mentioned, where I just boost Isaac's attack a whole bunch. Trett's biggest flaw is that he only moves once per turn. Which is to say, there are some bosses later that move more than once per turn, but he's not one of them. Let's use Forge for a change. Another impact. Let's keep stacking it. You can stack it a couple of times before they stop having impacts. No sleep, please. Okay, I think Isaac's attack grows all it can. That's alright. Is there a cap there? 50. 50 is the cap. I see. Got it. Sure. Okay. Oh, right, so we haven't used Breeze yet. Breeze is the gen we just got that almost beat the shit out of us. It boosts our resistance. So damage you take from synergy attacks goes down. So might be worth it. Let's see. Let's use another flare wall. Let's use Gust, because I want to show off the 2-gen Jupiter summon, too. It's nice and flashy. It has a decent amount of HP. We'll use Granite to protect in the meantime. I think I'm going to have Garrett heal himself here. And then I want to use Atalanta, the Heavenly Huntress. I like that one. That one's cool. Most of these summons are based off of some kind of mythology. Ooh, Isaac's asleep. Yeah, see, that's the other problem with the stack attack on one guy strategy, is you can just put that guy to sleep. But I love the little Z effect scrolling over his head. That's fun. I got one more flare wall in me for Garrett. I guess I could have Ivan summon Ramses. Might as well. Ah, that did it. The sleep didn't end up mattering too much. Hey, experience! Yay, we got a level from that. Master the Guards Volcano. Hey, that's a pretty good synergy. 700 coins. And we got a potion. Wow, we got so much stuff from beating the shit out of this end. I do think it's very funny that that like the reason that the whole tree curse thing happened was because the lumberjacks were forced to take their axes to the Ents, and so we decided to fix it by going and beating up the Ent ourselves. Like, maybe that wasn't really our intention, but that's very much what happened. What has happened to me? Was I see. My heart was all but lost in my rage. And you defeated the evil within me? I guess. I thank you. I could not leave this world with so much evil in my heart. I am free now to leave the world without regret. Goodbye, great warriors. Hey, wait a minute. We can't let Tret die like this. That's right, Isaac. We still need his help. What? Why have you not left me to my dying? Do you need something? Me when I want to be left alone by people. Why have you not left me to my dying? I burned the people of Kolyma into trees? Room! I must release them before they die with the forest. It looks a little, ineffectual. Can't do it. My power no longer reaches Kolyma. People of Kolyma, forgive me. Tret's too weak. He doesn't have the power to save Kolyma. No, we have to heal him. We can't let the people of Kolyma die with the forest. Every life in Kolyma depends on us. We have to restore Tret and save the people of Kolyma. So, he's not dead yet. Not dead yet. He's just a tree. He's just treeing around. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. Let's get some heals off. Ah, so here we are. Back at the base. People of Kolyma, forgive me. You really have to talk to Laurel here to figure out some way forward. Leave now, before this forest is destroyed. The healing waters of Mercury Lighthouse might save Tret, but the fountain's waters have long since dried up. So, guess we, better do a little more investigating. There's not much else we can do here at the time. Turns out there was a path we could have taken earlier that we didn't take yet. So we're gonna go there instead. First, we're gonna retreat. You could walk all the way back, but I don't want to do that. Retreat, best energy in the game. I think the way that speedrunners play through this game, once they get far enough into it, is that they exploit a glitch where retreat will take them somewhere else instead of to the beginning of that dungeon. So that way you can just kind of warp to a different spot in the game. So yeah, people of Kolyma, sorry, y'all still trees. And these people are still a little stacked up, you know? That's gonna be a weird situation if they ever run human. It's already a weird situation. What timing, you know? Bilibin, we could stop in. There's not much to do here other than just stop by the inn. This guy is still a tree. Sucks for him. Could we buy some stuff, sell some stuff maybe? Let's do a little commerce. What do you say? I don't need this travel vest anymore. I got a smoke bomb I don't really need. And then an oil drop I could sell. I might keep it. They're helpful. There are a couple of items that basically count as one use synergy. Oil drop is basically flare wall in item form. It's not worth that much, but I could sell it. Let's see. Maybe I should buy some more armor. I have a lot of coins now. I think it was shields that I meant to buy earlier. Looks like I had enough money to buy Garrett one, but not Isaac one. So there we go. I like that there is, for convenience, the option usually to sell your old equipment immediately. We don't need gloves. Oh, maybe on Ivan. 3 defense. Is that worth 220 coins? I don't think so. And then he sells weapons, which I think we're already about as well off as we can get on that front. Have I saved recently? Nah. At this time, if I was an affiliate, something that I would immediately do is put a very, very inexpensive channel point reward for reminding Gray to save the goddamn game. Cause you know, you get it. Anyway, we're gonna stop by the inn, and that's about all there is to do. Mostly just to get our synergy points back. In a way, sometimes synergy points tend to, for long expeditions, tend to kind of function as a secondary health bar, because it's really not when you run out of HP that you're in trouble. It's when you run out of PP to the point that you can't restore your HP that you're in trouble. So anyway, it looks like east is a bust for now. Can't really go south, there's just the Goma Range there. But there is a trail that leads north. Haven't been this way. And as you can see on the greater map, there's definitely some stuff up here. So we're gonna take a little look. So full disclaimer here, we could have gone this way first before we did the stuff we just did in Kalima. That would have been fine. The game more or less expects you... Well, that's not true. I'll put it this way. The enemies here are higher level than the stuff that's in Kalima. But you could have gone this way first, and then actually a few cutscenes would be a little bit different, so the game does account for maybe they went this way first. But this is the hard way to do it. If it would have gone this way, then Trent would have been an absolute cakewalk too, which is a little anticlimactic. That's the other reason I'm not doing it this way. So let's do a little grow thing here. This is a complaint some people have, is that sometimes to get some synergy that you need to traverse, you have to move Jin around, but it doesn't take that long, so... I'm kind of going into this cave the back way for reasons that you will see. So we got a little cave here. This is why I went this way. I just happened to know this was already here. Isaac got an elven rapier. Another reason I didn't bother to oh, you know, what's it called? To buy more weapons. Because here's a nice one. So this is the elven rapier. It's a light blade. By the way, there's a little bit of a distinction between, like, basically two-handed and one-handed swords in this game. They don't call it that, but that's what it is. Because Ivan can't carry the super big swords, but anyone can use a light blade. Well, any of these three can use a light blade. So I could give this to Isaac. I'm gonna give it to Ivan though, because you know, he needs a bit of weapon. He's not the attacky boy without like a nice fancy weapon. Also, so a lot of the better weapons in this game have an unleash, like it says in the bottom. An unleash is kind of like a critical hit, but they usually have a secondary effect sometimes, and they usually have an elemental bent as well. And so it makes sense to put the Elven Rapier on Ivan, because I think Vorpal Slash does Jupiter damage, wind damage, and he's the wind guy. So, another thing I could do though is I could move all of those Jupiter Jin to somebody else, give that person the Elven Blade, and maximize damage that way. So there's a lot of fun builds you can do, even pretty early game, which I find really interesting. That's something I love about this game, is sort of the flexibility of your build. I say as I currently keep everyone in mono elemental classes, but I mean, I might change it up later. I am amenable to some backseating if you want to see some other class options too. It's often just simpler early in the game before everyone has, like, maybe once they get to the point where everyone has 2 Jin, it'll be a little better to do. But right now, when you only have 1 Jin per person, you don't have that many options, really. There's also, so here's the downside to the Jin system working the way it does, is you might have noticed on that Jin page, and this is just for the sake of balance, I currently have 5 Jin, right, amongst 3 party members. And so, of course, that's going to lead to a little bit of unevenness, but it's controlled. So, like, I can't give all of my Jin to one person. I have to keep it as even as possible. So I cannot have it so that somebody has no Jin and one person has 3 Jin. That's not going to work. The game does not allow that for balance's sake. Which some people might find annoying, but I get why. It would suck to always have one party member constantly dying. I almost wish the game would let you do it, but it doesn't, so, you know. But anyway, so that's some fact that's generally true. So I can't just lump all the Jin on one person and see what happens. Oh well, hoo-hoo. Is this the way? Yeah. Looks a little colder up here. I guess we are going north. To the bitter north we go. On one hand, I find the, like, north is cold trope a little tired. On the other hand, as mentioned, everything here is actually based around real-world locations, and so we're actually going to effectively this world's equivalent to Scandinavia. Which is not super obvious, but I'll point out a thing or two once we get there. This is a puzzle that I like. You can melt that frost pillar that way. I forget what's up here, though. Schools are annoying. I hope I get a Rapier Unleashed soon. It's a fun animation. Sure, I do a lot of very fast menuing to do healing. A vial. That's a healing item, right? Yeah, potions heal all HP, makes them very expensive. Vials just worth 500, which is like basically just a very slightly worse potion. I mean, at this point in the game, they're basically the same thing. I'm gonna give you that. It's not super often in Golden Sun that you have like a dedicated healer. I will say that there are some party members that their like default setup comes across more white magey than most other builds. But like everyone always has a little bit of balance. Like even though Garrett is like very physically defensively oriented, he also has synergy, you know? He also has like buffs and debuffs. So, you know, basically everyone is the red mage is what I'm saying. Well, let's do Volcano. Oh no, my goo is so sticky. Oh, are you shitting me? I hate when they do this. Ugh. That's annoying, because now there's like a gap between these. I think in later Golden Sun games, they fixed the gap issue. But it causes some kind of annoying situations here. where like if I were to hit Quake with this guy, it doesn't hit Ooze 5 over there because there's too much distance. I don't know, just a slight annoyance. I'm gonna kill Ooze 5 because I'm annoyed. There we go. There's Vorpal Slash. Gotta love a Jabberwocky reference. That is kind of a fun way in like a JRPG to incorporate mythology without actually having to lean on any particular real-world culture. Is like, look at the Jabberwocky, something that is deliberately a nonsense poem, attribute the meanings yourself. I don't know, I just think that's a fun way to do it. Ran away? Well, why'd you attack me in the first place then? How close am I to leveling people up? So here's a nice thing. So everyone's level 8 right now, huh? Here's kind of a nice thing. The experience counter here tells you how much more you need to get to the next level. So Isaac only needs 72, which is not much. 224, 75. Ah, okay. So we might do just a little bit of grinding before we do much else here, just to get at least Isaac and Ivan to level up. Actually, I think these guys resist fire. They at least use fire. Yeah, that one ran away. I will say this too, as repetitive as some of the battles can get, especially when you're deliberately grinding, the game makes it so that you can spam attack very fast, which I appreciate. We didn't level up, did we? Nope. Okay, one more fight, one more fight. Give it to me! Okay, we're gonna fight a bear. That's great. Like I told you, it's the Frozen North. Gotta have a bear in the Frozen North. We're gonna just do a fire. We're gonna set the bear on fire. I don't like the bear. Guard, huh? Defense rose by a whole 3 points. Good job. That will protect you from being set on fire. Ooh, I'm glad we killed the bear. Bears don't have a lot of HP. Sorry, Mauler. Maulers don't have a lot of HP, but they'll sure wear down you. Okay, that did it. Level 9 Knight, level 9 Magician. Alright, Garrett's a little bit behind, but we'll worry about him later. Alright, so you might see something interesting there. There's, Mercury Lighthouse. So, what do you want to do? Do we want to go in this little village first? We did know something about Mercury Lighthouse. I guess maybe let me walk in it while I'm over here by it. Annoying. There we go. So, Mercury Lighthouse. Here we are. Fountain of Healing. Water of Hermes. It brings rejuvenation to all that lives. The fountain seems dry though. So this here, this water is the ocean, as you can see. We are up pretty north. There is ocean up there. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. This is the fountain they're talking about. There is not water in that fountain. And in fact, there's strange forces at work. Seems impossible to proceed. So there's not really too much we can actually do here, is the problem. We can come up here, but as we'll see later, this is more of an exit than an entrance. I love the music for this. It's very like, you're gonna go through a big climb, you're gonna do a puzzle dungeon. But not right now, because we can't actually get inside. So, I guess we'll have to hold off a little bit on the whole lighthouse thing. Let's maybe ask around here. Uh-oh. Sad Village song. You gotta love a Sad Village song. By the way, so this is the mountain. This is the village of Emil. Like I mentioned, this is a very Scandinavian village, and it's hard to tell exactly what Emil is supposed to reference until you realize that due to Romanization, this could have just as easily been Emir instead of Emil. So, that's what the reference is. And in fact, Mercury Lighthouse, I'll mention too. There is a, again, real-world lighthouse by the name of Sleipnisfjord. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right because I don't speak Norwegian. But it is the northernmost mainland lighthouse on Earth, located in Gamvik municipality in Norway. Yeah, so there is an actual very historic lighthouse that Mercury Lighthouse is based on, which I think is super interesting. Yeah, anyway, so we can't get in. Hi, are you new in Emil? Yeah, I guess we sure are. I should warn you, there's a bad cold going around right now. Try not to catch it. I cannot escape communicable diseases even in my fantasy escapism. Yeah, things aren't great here either. On one hand, people aren't becoming a tree. On the other hand, it's COVID times here in Emil too. I've had a lot of strangers lately. I wonder if they're going to Mercury Lighthouse too. Yeah, things aren't great here. We're the only inn that stays open in winter since guests are so few. We'll wait on you hand and foot, so please stay a while. Winters are tough here, so I'm glad to have guests to talk to. I want to give them the best service I can. Oh, she's a nice lady. Ah, an oven. Isaac looked in the oven. Isaac got some lucky peeper. Most of the ovens in this game, if you look into it, it gives you a nice description of the food that's cooking. So I'm a little bit annoyed that one just says it's dark inside. But I mean, I got, you know, the thing in it, so I will take it. Luck. Luck is not a very important stat. No one cares that much about luck, so there we go. Whatever. Luck it is. Do you want to see the restaurant menu? Here you go. We're a small town, mind you, so the selection isn't great. I don't get to eat many fancy meals in the winter. Tasty stew would be a real treat. Ooh, that would be a real treat. Maybe not to me right now. I don't really tend to crave stew when it's... How hot is it outside here? Oh, it's 84. You know, that's actually not bad. I have been conditioned at this point to believe that it's constantly 98 outside. Because, for the last couple weeks, it sure has been. But 84 at the hottest part of the day, you know, I can live with that. I can take it. I have two groups of travelers come through such heavy snows to Emil. The first group has already gone off somewhere. So this is a little more related to the main aspect of our quest here. So this lighthouse business, what it's about is we come from a village of Vale that was, maybe unknowingly, protecting these things. The elemental stars. 4 of them, 1 for each element. They got stolen. We're chasing the guys that stole them because they're using them to light the lighthouses. If all the lighthouses get lit, then bad things happen of uncertain quality. It unleashes the power of alchemy upon the world. What would that do? Well, we don't know. That's kind of the problem. So, they have all the stars besides the Mars star that we ended up with because of an altercation. But that means they have the Mercury star. So if they're already here, that means they're in the process of trying to light the lighthouse. So we must give chase. I'll stay at the inn. Let's go ahead and stay at the inn now. We might as well. Inns are cheap. 24 coins? Hell yeah, we can do that. God, can you imagine cheap housing? Oof, cannot relate. I'd rather go back to Tret's Airbnb. Anyway, let's explore Emil a little bit more. There's a couple things to do here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I tend to stay indoors a lot when the weather turns cold. It's not good for your health though, so I try to work out. People get sick because they stay indoors all day, hiding from the cold. You have to keep in shape if you don't want to get sick. That's kind of almost true. Oh, I see your usual vendor is having a hard time. My dad is a lumberjack. He's down south working in Kalima. Oh. I have bad news for you, miss. I wonder if they're headed to Mercury Lighthouse too. We'll never make it without Mia. Mia? Well, who's Mia? If you want to buy something, please talk to my daughter. If only we had some of that mythical spring water. That'd fix us right up. So, she's talking about the fountain in front of Mercury Lighthouse. I'm sick, but I can get you whatever you need. Welcome, we have just the gear you need. So if I wanted to, I could go ahead and buy that Water of Life back. It's a little pricey at the time, though. So we got this, we sold it, basically we took out a loan. We can always buy it back, but it'll require some monies. Yeah, there's not too much to buy here. Sacred Feathers are kind of nice, give you fewer encounters, but we're gonna need to do a little grinding anyway. So, you know. I'm not too worried about buying items here. Same with weapons and armors. Well, and good thing too, cause, well... Do you want weapons? I can't sell weapons until I'm cured. Oh, I'm getting chills. Who are these people? They must be strong folk to come to a mill in winter. We're closed! Sorry, I get a little cranky when I'm sick. I'll open up the shop when I get better. Why do they always come when I'm sick? Well, you know. Snowboy. Huh. Well, while we're here, you know, that reminds me of something else to do in a mill. You know, when the river flows, freezes, English. When the river freezes over, time to go ice skating. Whee! Couple things we can do here. Have like a little fun little ice skating time. You guys like sliding ice puzzles? No? Too bad, because here it is. You see, Snowman is here. And we seem to have a frozen, broken ice behind the waterfall. Have to put a secret behind the waterfall. What's the point of a waterfall if there isn't a secret behind it? Ah, another vial. Who did I give the first one to? Ivan will be the holder of vials. Alrighty. Let's see if we can give that one more go here. Actually, I think we did it right the first time, now that I think about it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the snowman stops us, and now we can go, right into a fire gen. Don't mind if I do. That looks painful, I gotta say. That's a lot of fire. Now we have a fun gen. So you might remember as I'm, going from a guard to a soldier. That is a hefty increase in stats too. I will take it. Still slow as molasses, but I mentioned before that, you know, all gen have different effects. And so, in case you were grumpy about how Flint is a fun, flashy attack and Gus is a fun, flashy attack, or just not, now we have a fun, flashy attack. Wrap a foe in feverish delusion, which is also kind of in bad taste considering the epidemic that Emil is going through right now. The whole, you know, fever thing. Also, I mean, it's COVID times, so, you know. Any hoodle. away we go. Are you doing okay? Maybe you should go inside. Is Mia here yet? Well, we all seem to be after a Mia. Ooh, money. I love money. Oh, the epidemic has hit almost everyone in a mill. I'm sick too. What would happen to us if we didn't have Mia? Her palms shine with a blue light. Could she be an angel? So anyway, Mia's an adept. I mean, probably not shocking. Have you visited the old couple who lived near the entrance of town? Mia went to their house. You might have seen her if you stopped there. Are you looking for Mia? I guess. She just left. An epidemic is sweeping the village, so Mia is very busy. I wonder if I skipped a cutscene, actually. Yes, I did. So, a cutscene that I could have seen here. A cutscene that I could have seen here is we walk in this house immediately upon getting the village, and then this guy falls ill, and then the lady just says, "Go get Mia, go get Mia." So that's how we're supposed to know about Mia. But we kind of just talk to everyone else in village instead. So, oh well, nothing really horribly lost. We just didn't get to see an old man suffering, I suppose. How are you feeling? Not good, bitch. He's been coughing for quite a while now. He'll feel better soon. I guess soon doesn't mean immediately. How do you feel now? Much better. No, Grandpa, you mustn't push yourself too hard. Thank you, Mia. I can't imagine how this village would ever manage without you. Don't mention it. You should rest in bed too, ma'am. By the way, she said grandpa. I don't know if it's implied whether that's Mia's literal grandpa or not. Because it could be that sense of like, it tends to be a very like Japanese, like especially small town thing where like if you see, you know, an old man, you're like, hey Gramps, you know. If you see some other guy, hey cousin, hey brother, hey little sister. Can I help you? That doesn't look good. Was that the lighthouse? Can't be. Only I can... Oh no. Alex! So if you do not recall, part of the group that was raiding Soul Sanctum and Vale, where we started out, hometown, was this random blue guy that showed up later, Alex. So, guess we maybe know something about Alex. We're just gonna steal an empty bottle from these people. Much like, well, apparently it extracts water from Magic Spring. Thank you, interface spoiler. Much like in the Zelda games, empty bottles are a nice commodity to have, at least for a certain part of the game. Here we go. Here's a classic Golden Sun looking into the oven moment. Looks like porridge. It is the best thing when you're sick. What happened in the lighthouse to the northeast? Mia's clan once lived here and guarded the lighthouse to the east. Now she's all alone. This is why I say I don't think that that's Grandpa, literally. Also, I said this before, I love the Angerin, like, interior decoration sense where it's just, let's get a whole bunch of rugs and just stack those fuckers. I unironically love it. I think it looks really good, actually. I think that's really fun. So I guess now we go to the lighthouse? Well, we got a gin out of it, so away we go. Let's chase Mia. Ah, here she is. Somebody is here. Someone is here. Can you hear it too? You can't hear it? Well, I can. Alex is the only one other than I who can enter Mercury Lighthouse. But the statue is blocking my way. You might remember, we came here a second ago. That statue was not where it is. That statue has definitely been moved to the right. The statue is blocking the entrance. Someone doesn't want me to get inside. Well, we can fix that. Did you do that? You sure did. I knew it. I saw a ghostly force pushing it. You can see your Synergy? Synergy. Is that what you call that power? You thought you were using Synergy when you killed that old man, Mia. That's a special power handed down to members of the Mercury clan from generation to generation. It is called Ply, a power generated through meditation. It was once much stronger. This Mercury clan sounds a little like people of Vale, don't you think? I think so. Sure. Sworn protectors of a special power, just like us. I have to go. I have to find whoever entered the lighthouse. Little fairy. I think that fairy is also meant to be a reference to something in particular. I think that if you look at that sprite carefully, it's a character from, I think, the Shining Force series, which I don't know very much about, I'm sorry, but I know that it's, in some senses, a little bit of a predecessor to the Golden Sun games. I'd like to play them at some point. Oh. Gotta tango with a lizard man. What would an entrance to an ancient lighthouse be without tangoing with a lizard man? Monster inside Mercury Lighthouse? How could this be? I have to get past it. Boop. 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 Ah. 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 Well, we'll just beat the shit out of him. You know, sometimes you just gotta beat the shit out of somebody who's in your way. So, let that be a lesson. If somebody is in your way, don't apologize. Just elbow them in the face. Just unleash your Jin upon them, you know? He does have an axe, to be fair. Maybe we could have axed if we could get by him, though. You're home! Hello, Kaylee! Welcome home! Oh, here's another fun fact. There are some, very minor mislocalizations in this game. So, a lot of enemies have an attack that is so-and-so blessing. That's supposed to be breath. Blessing doesn't really make sense. But when you think about it, with the L and R swap, breath, bless, sound pretty similar. So, it's supposed to be water breath. It was fixed in... I don't know if it was fixed in The Lost Age, the second half of this game, but it was definitely fixed in the sequel, Dark Dawn. So water blessing is water breath, which is pretty gross. Basically, he used Hydro Pump, but... We felled Lizard Man. So this is kind of what is happening here. We're kind of just like making room for Mia to make her way through. Making her way up, Lighthouse. He who honors the heart of a goddess shall stand at the center of all, like a swan in the center of a rippling pond. That's a thing that'll make sense, but not now. That's a fun statue, though, that we can't really interact with. So, not too much to do here. I always thought that the wall decorations, the fountains that puke water, look like Gyarados. And I wonder if they take visual inspiration from the same source. And I can't quite place it. It reminds me a little bit of Shisa, the like Okinawan spirits, but that doesn't really make sense as a reference for here because this is supposed to be a Scandinavian area. So it also looks a little bit like a lion or a chimera, kind of a human face with a mane. I don't know, I can't quite place it, but it's very visually interesting. So yeah, there's not really too much we can do, but I think that this place represents great dungeon design, because something that happens a lot in especially the 3D Zelda dungeons is you get into a dungeon, it looks a little overwhelming, you see a lot you can't access right away, like look at all these hopping spots off to the left and right that we can't get to. We really have a pretty linear path right now, but what's gonna happen is we're gonna traverse enough of the lighthouse and sort of open up some new paths that'll allow us to explore further later. And I think that that's a really fun way to design a dungeon. Path is blocked again. What am I gonna do? The statue wasn't here before. I wonder if Alex... No, Alex wouldn't do that. But what if he's not alone? Guess we'll fix your problem. You've saved me again, haven't you? Do you have business in the lighthouse too? Sure do. I thought so. I am sure that there will be more places ahead that I cannot pass alone. Only those of the Mercury Clan are permitted to enter this place. However, I sense something special about you. I feel that I can trust you. We get a party member! This is Mia. She joins a little higher level than us. We could grind up to level 10 if we wanted to, but, you know, that's okay. We're all mostly even. Mia is a water seer. And in fact, she comes with a gen. So we get our first Mercury gen on the sheer basis of Mia found it without us, you know? So that's fun. And again, we don't have a fun attack gen at the moment, but this is basically a free heal. It's a heal that uses a gen use instead of PP, instead of synergy points. I guess it does come with the downside, so it's not free. It comes with the downside of a stat drop temporarily because it puts the gen on standby, but it doesn't cost 4 PP like Ply does. And speaking of, let's look at her synergy. So as a water seer, she has Ply. So I kind of alluded to her earlier. This is our white mage girl. Not that she cannot do other things, she certainly can. But she has a nice single target heal, 100 HP. I mean, if you look at the HP of people, that's a big chunk of HP. Isaac's heal is good, but it's only 70. 100 is pretty good. Cure poison. We haven't really had too much issue with poison yet, but there are some enemies that use poison. It's a bit annoying. We have some nice attack synergy along the frozen water spectrum, where we can do some area of effect stuff or single target spikes. So she's got some fun things she can do. Item-wise, she comes with a Witch's Wand, which is a pretty fun staff. Unleashes stun voltage, which is actually Jupiter oriented, but you know, whatever. Got an herb, an antidote, an elixir. Yep, she's ready to do some healing. You can tell. Her equipment's a little bit behind, but not too bad. Makes up for the fact that she's level 10. So anyway, she is a pretty good party member. Plus free gen. I like Mia. So here are some classic roams. As I've mentioned before, what's the purpose of a waterfall without stuff behind it? Not to say there's stuff behind all of them, but there might be behind some of them. Now Garrett's level 9. So I am going to check every part of every waterfall, because I forget which ones hide stuff, but some of them hide stuff. Ooh, here's another fun row. Okay, so remember back in Kalima Forest, we introduced the log rolling puzzles. Here is a fun variation on that, the pipe rolling puzzles. Aha! You've connected the pipes. Oh, that kind of sucks though. These can be a little confusing the first time you see them. I want that chest, but, you know. We actually don't really want the pipe stuff to be happening. But at least we can, sort some stuff out. I also kind of like that you can see, like, the deal with Mercury Lighthouse, because you see water flowing everywhere, and of course there need to be conduits for that to happen. Something has to be carrying that water. So I like that you can actually, you know, see the mechanics behind it. I think that's really well designed and really interesting. Oh, now we can go get that treasure chest. There it is. Ah, Psi Crystal. So a Psi Crystal is basically what an elixir would be in most games. Restores your MP. I mean PP. These are pretty rare items, so we'll hold on to that. We will do that thing of, this is a really useful and good item, and I don't want to waste it, so I'll literally never use it once. We're gonna do that thing, you know? You know? I think we want to go this way. I'm gonna head south here. Yeah, there's the door. Which way? Which way? Kaylee, tell me about your trip. Did you have a good time? I want to know. So Kaylee went on a little family time. She had a fun weekend, and I'm jealous. Not that I didn't have a fun weekend. I very much did. Kaylee, I did a little going under stream yesterday. As predicted, the humor of the game went over very, very well. Because it's a fucking great game. What do we want to do here? Statue pushing bullshit. Sure. By the way, if I jump down here, that's just a shortcut to slide down to get to the level below. That's what that kind of weird, like, enclave is. As per usual in the game, dotted lines denote the area where the statue can be pushed. They really just exist so that you can't push the statue into a corner and fuck yourself up. There we go. It is kind of funny, too, how, I mean, we're chasing somebody through the lighthouse at this point to try to stop them from getting to the top before we do. But, like, their way of stopping us is, like, literally that, like, movie trope of, like, running through a hallway and just knocking the statues over behind you as you go. That's literally what's happening here. Ah, back in this room. Remember what the sign said? He who honors the heart of the goddess shall stand at the center of all, like a swan in the center of a rippling pond. So, it took me a little while to figure out what you're supposed to do here, as, I mean, you can't really do much else. You either jump here, or you jump here. So, clearly you gotta do something. And here is the thing you gotta do. I wish I remembered the name. I used to know the name of this character, but that sprite is supposed to be a reference to a Shining Force character. I think so. So it's not super obvious what happened here, but see how that pedestal is now glowing? So remember that whole thing about standing on top of a rippling pond? Now it can walk on water, but only a set number of times. Or else, yeah, that's okay. We just work back. I love this mechanic. I think it's so fun. So now we have a little bit more that we can explore. This really opens up the lighthouse for us. I personally think that Mercury Lighthouse is as well defined and well constructed as a dungeon as many dungeons from the Zelda series. It just has such like good intentional design. Ah, so this was your introduction to, hey, there's shit behind the waterfalls, you know? Gotta look at things. Ooh, much to do. Synergy armor. Great, great item. So, it is heavy armor that boosts PP. The downside being that since it's heavy armor, you can see from the nodding in the top left, only Isaac and Garrett can equip it. Who needs PP the most? Well, I mean, Garrett's base PP is pretty low, so we better get it to him. Plus, it's better armor than what he currently has anyway. Yeah, now his PP is actually better than Isaac's. Good shit, good shit. Let's do a little healing as we go. What I should be doing is I should be using Mia to heal. You'll see why I say that once we get in a couple of fights. You also might notice that we haven't been getting into too many fights, and that's because in the puzzle-heavy rooms, encounters are turned off, so you can focus on the puzzle, which I really appreciate, because I'm easily distracted. Let's do some Mia things. Let's do Tundra. You want to see Tundra? There it is. By the way, Frost looks exactly like Tundra, and just like maybe a little smaller even. We'll show off Ice later too. Anyway, what I was gonna say is if that battle lasted longer, while Mia is in here, the last thing that happens in any tournament battle is Mia recovers like, I think 5 synergy points. I think you'll see that pretty soon. Hey, nice chest! Just kidding, it wants to kill us. There are mimics in this game. Surprise, surprise. But it's one of those things where even if you know a quest is a mimic, a chest is a mimic, you probably wouldn't defeat it anyway because it usually still drops the thing inside it, which is a good item. Mimics are just kind of annoying, really. I also love the mimic design in this game because they're so stupid. Because the chest suddenly grows fangs, the emblem on the chest grows a 3rd eye, but then also cartoon eyes are on the base of the chest, and all of a sudden it's an arthropod. It has Chompy Chompies. What was the OG mimic? They've been a thing for so long. That's a really good question. I assume you mean, well, I was gonna say, like, it's a good question to ask what game had the first mimic, but also, like, I'm sure the idea of a mimic probably existed before video games, but it makes perfect sense to implement for, like, a JRPG. What did have the first mimic? In terms of time, let me think. Tales of Phantasia, did it have mimics? I know that later in the Tales series, Tales of Symphonia has mimics. Did Phantasia have mimics? I don't remember. Does Final Fantasy have mimics? That's a really excellent question. I'm sorry I don't know the answer to that, but I would love to know it. Anyway, let's stab a chest that's also a crab or whatever, you know? I'm gonna see Ice. Ice is cool. And that's the other thing annoying about mimics, is they do that shit. See, Mia recovers 4 PP. So she can basically just use Synergy without limit while she's in here. It's a big D&D reference, but I'm not sure what video game had it first. Ah, right, tabletop. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. I mean, in effect, role-playing games referred to tabletop role-playing games first, and then video games of that sort really just were like, hey, we're gonna take a game that exists and, you know, have computers do the hard calculations so people don't have to do it. You know what I mean? So that makes sense. Invented in D&D in the early 70s. Ah. I'm sure there's some sort of folklore about like shape-shifting items or something that it was inspired by. I don't know, maybe. I mean, it makes perfect sense, if not, to be constructed for D&D, all things considered. Because, like, if you don't know about the idea of a mimic, what a great thing as a DM to spring on an insufficiently wary adventuring troops that, like, hey, you're gonna go bite a chest, or I gave away the punchline. You're gonna go open a chest and it bites you. It's a mimic. What? It's a mimic. What's that? The chest is alive? Anyway, you get it. Yeah, so I guess that does make the question, what game implemented the D&D idea of a mimic first? So that I don't know. My guess would be probably Final Fantasy or... Oh, you know what? Dragon Quest. It's Dragon Quest. I don't know which Dragon Quest, but one of them. Ooh, Water of Life. That's the fun thing we get. Who do I give that to? Not Ivan, because if anyone would go down, if anyone would lose all their HP, it would be him. Garrett, you're the tank. You hold on to that. That reminded me, here's a fun thing to think about. So I'm in a Discord server for local gamers, and there's always a question of the day channel on it, and the question of the day yesterday was, which are you, tank, healer, or damage dealer? Are you tank, are you DPS, or are you a healer? I don't know which of those I am. I'm just watching, you know? No, realistically, I'm the annoyer. I'm the debuffer. I'm none of those things. I'm the bard. I'm the spoony bard. You know? I don't know enough about, like, the style of game to have those archetypes to really be able to claim a particular role. I'm not gonna lie. I don't do that many, like, team action RPGs. I don't do MMOs. Not that I wouldn't, I just kind of don't. Oh, so now we can do this puzzle. I'm kind of one of those people where, like, as a kid, it was like, oh, we're not gonna make them do team sports because they're not that athletic. But, like, realistically, like, I didn't really do, like, it's good that I didn't do team sports and also can't do team esports. Not because I'm not athletic, not because I don't like video games, but because, like, I just don't, like, communicate well in a team setting, and I don't really want to, you know? Single player for life. Dragon Quest, I think, might have been one of the first video games to have mimics. That would be my best guess. It's really hard to come up with any kind of JRPG idea that Dragon Quest or Final Fantasy didn't do first. Which is a little bit hard to figure out from a Western perspective, because Dragon Quest is so much bigger in, say, Japan than it is here. Or at least it was early on. Like, now you get Dragon Quest, what are we up to, 8? Is that the one that came out on Switch last year, 2 years ago? Yeah, I mean, all of those have been releasing in the West for a good couple years. I remember the first Dragon Quest game I saw, I want to say it was like 4 or 5, I think, on the PS2. So yeah, I mean, the West has had Dragon Quest installments for a while, but all that said, you know, we don't get the references, like, we don't have in our video game culture in the West, like, so much knowledge about Dragon Quest because we didn't grow up with it like you would if you were a JRPG fan in the East, so. There's not a definitive answer because video game history is not well documented, TBH. No, you're very right. And anyone who does the work of documenting such a thing has my utmost respect. And in fact, I'm very interested in that, especially like the history of console games, things like that. I would love to be a video game historian, but that doesn't seem like a job that could pay me enough to live. Unless I, like, really got in someone's good graces. I'd really find a good mentor to help with that. but it's something that I'm really passionate about. I love learning about video game history and sharing it with others. What was I gonna say about that? Oh, there has been more of a push for it lately. I forget exactly who, considering most video game historians are just private collectors. Right, exactly. A while back, I retweeted, Kotaku did a video and an article, like a fun, little piece on, I wish I could remember her name. Sorry, I'm popping over to Twitter right now to scroll back through it. If you search for her name and Kotaku, I bet you can find this article if you're interested. Or if you follow me on Twitter, shout out to my Twitter. Here's Twitter. You'll have to scroll back a little ways, as I am currently doing. Sorry about this. I retweeted it because it was so fascinating to see. When was this? Was this July? Here it is. So there's a lady who has now 2 world records for her vintage gaming collection, and it's not console gaming, it's all individual handheld playable games. Very, very interesting stuff. 2 world records for having the largest collection of LCD and playable gaming systems. Her name is Linda Guillory. That's her name. Guillory. Linda Guillory. Her 2 world records come from her collection of 1,599 LCD gaming systems and 2,430 total playable gaming systems, which is absolutely insane. And so she has a video where she'll like take you on a tour of it, and something I love that's a huge flex is like the first thing of the tour is like, here's my wall. It's like it is a complete collection of every NES game that ever came out in North America. But that's boring. Let's move on to the cool shit. Just such a flex. But then she goes through and like guides you through all of her like playable handheld games, fully working collection. Because as she talks about, she's an electrical engineer because like as a little girl, like she, I think like her like brother got a video game and she loved it, and then it broke at some point, and then she learned how to do work with electronics in order to fix it, and so she grew up to become an electrical engineer. I don't know, it's like such a cool story. Oop, there's the first poison. Oh, we didn't take damage from it. Maybe it's next turn we start taking damage. Poison is a damage over time thing. Most fights don't go on long enough for poison to be that obnoxious, but poison does persist outside of battle, unlike most statuses here. Anyway. Yeah, video game... Oh, it's when you attack is when you move. Right after you move, not at the end of your turn. Thankfully, we have your poison. Handy dandy. That's the other reason you don't see a lot of poison before now, is because it's obnoxious when you can't get rid of it. It just would kill you. What was I gonna say? I know that now, academically speaking, I'm trying to think of examples, well, counter-examples to video game historians being just private collectors. I know that there are some universities now that are trying to construct collections of abandonware. If you're not familiar with abandonware, is there anything else to do in this room before I go through that waterfall? I think that's the only way forward. So if you didn't figure out before now that there's shit behind the waterfall, better figure it out now. Saved in a while. Sorry, back on topic. What's it called? Yeah, so there's some universities that are now tracking abandonware. By abandonware, usually what we mean by that is often a PC game or something of the sort, maybe an Amiga or Atari game from early on when developers had this habit of being like, okay, we made this game, it's 1990, or before even, and we're not gonna ever do anything because, I mean, the idea of a video game patch is very recent in video game history. The idea of patching your game so that, that you can fix bugs or, you know, provide more content, that wasn't really a thing until maybe the late 2000s. I don't know what
couldn't tell you what the first video game was to have a patch, you know? There's water in this room now, so we can do this. Anyway. But so people would put out games in the 80s, 90s, and then just leave it. Just drop it, not offer any support for it. Whatever existed was what existed. And that's all there was to it. And often those companies went under. The companies stopped existing. The people who made it maybe have since died because it came out in the 80s and it's 2021. So anyway, so for whatever cause, you know, a game would stop being supported and that would become abandonware. And so it has recently become a big push to like collect the source code of such projects, since no one is around to you know, do anything with them anymore, so that we can preserve that for history. And it's really very hard to do because of how much gray area is deliberately coded into copyright law in America, and probably in other countries too. I'm not saying this is a uniquely American problem, but we got it real bad too. Because in some ways it's good that like that copyright has a lot of gray areas into it to allow for the fact that, you know, a nation's law will never fully encompass the standards of human morality all that well. So like, I am playing a video game on Twitch. I do own this game. I have the GameCube and the Game Boy player that's playing it. I own this controller. I own the cartridge, but I am also producing content with it, technically without permission of the developers, because they made this game in 2001. I don't know how I would get a hold of them and be like, can I stream your game? And they'd be like, why are you asking? People stream our game all the time. Anyway, but if they wanted to, they could say, hey, you're using our product without permission. They could claim this VOD, they could shut me down. And so they don't really have a good reason to do that, which is why they don't. And people stream all the time, deliberately hanging out in the gray area of copyright law. I mean, YouTube LPers have been making an entire career within the gray area of copyright law for a long time. So I'm not saying that we need to tighten up copyright law and fix it. I think that would cause more problems than there are. That said, because of because of how inconsistently copyright law is enforced, it's a difficult thing to predict. It's difficult to I don't know, work around. And so some of these abandonwares, sorry, that's what I'm talking about this whole time. Some of these abandonware projects are still, in fact, all of them really, probably are still under copyright law. And so you can't really claim it and be like, hey, this is technically pirating, but I am going to download the source code. I'm going to figure out how to fix up this game and make it work on my computer. Because those people, even if they're not interested in supporting the code anymore, they can still say, hey, that work is copyrighted by me. You do not have permission to do that. You are in big trouble, and sue you. And sometimes it happens. It's not very common, but technically, shit like that is a possibility. So, which is why it's really a big deal when things become ex-abandonware. So I mentioned back when I played Castles 2, a game from my childhood, I streamed it like a month or two ago. It became ex-abandonware a couple years ago. The developers saw, oh hey, this is something that is very commonly pirated and circulated around, which really, like, they didn't really have a big problem with that because they weren't, I mean, the CDs aren't still in circulation. You can't buy the game. And so what they decided was, we're going to rip the game and put it on Steam and GOG. And then we can keep on selling it and keep making money off of it. So sometimes that's the reason why people make it ex-abandonware. But that's very uncommon. I mean, that's a game from, when did Castles 2 come out? 1992, I think? I want to say 1992, roundabouts, within a year or two of that. So, I mean, imagine writing a game in 1992, and then realizing in, I want to say like 2007 is when it became X Abandonware, but realizing around then, hey, people are still circulating and playing this enough, we could still be making money off of this if we continue to support it. And so that's what I say, 92 to 2007. So 15 years later, I mean, that's a pretty big gap. And most people in those 15 years completely lose interest or forget, which is why it's so uncommon. Anyway, there's a lot of weird intricacies around copyright law, preserving abandonware, stuff like that, and so that makes it very tricky to do. But just because it's hard to do doesn't mean that it's not worth doing. Anyway, I would love to become more of a video game historian than I currently am. Ooh, we're hitting sirens now. Ooh. Is she working though? Look at those boots. I wish I could spin the camera around. That's not really a thing in this game. Because she literally does like a flying jump kick to attack. That is disturbingly long hair. That's not practical, ma'am. Is it this one? Ah, it's that one. We found a friend. Let me heal up. And let me save. Because, generally speaking, if you encounter a gen and you want to, you know, have it, if you're in, like, town or someplace where you don't do combat usually, then you have to just solve a little puzzle and get to it, and you get it. Kind of like we just did with Fever earlier, the second Mars gen. But if we're in a dungeon, you probably gotta fight its ass, so... let's see, what are we gonna do here? And sometimes they run. I save because it could kill me. I also save because it could run away. Of course, I could leave the dungeon and come back, but I don't want to do that. I would just rather reload the save, so... Whatever, you get it. Anyway, I am not very knowledgeable about the status of not just video game history as a whole, because that's a lot to learn, but like how video game historians operate, I guess. I'll put it that way. I'm not super familiar, but I'd like to learn more about it. I don't know if it's, you know, a super viable career option for me. Although if it was, I would like very much. Just because I'm not technically in academia any longer doesn't mean that I don't like learning and retaining information. I guess, I mean, academia is a hard thing to define too. I tend to think of academia jobs as just shit having to do with universities. Colleges, I guess I should say. To be a little more broad. Ooh, does this kill Ivan? Oh, okay. I gotta be careful. Ooh, hopefully this kills. Yes, it did. Okay, great. That was a little close. Ooh, level up. Cure well. Ah, it's kind of silly that as soon as we get the healer girl, we get, like, a better heal on our, like, backup healer. So if I remember right, Cure Well... Okay, look at this animation. Doesn't that look like a lot more lovely and refreshing than when a Margin joins you and just like, you get surrounded, you pelted with fireballs? I'm just saying, that ain't fair. Alright, so Fizz is just a free heal, but Sleet is an attack. It says drench your foe to drop its attack, but it also does damage. Sleet is nice. And now we go from a Water Seer to a Scribe. No new synergy, but nice boost to attack. This is around the part of the game where it wouldn't be a terrible idea. Not that either of these is better or worse, but we have enough Jin that we can start shuffling them around and creating some fun class options. So we'll maybe do that later. In the meantime, let's heal up. So we have Cure Well now, which is a pretty good heal, but it costs a lot of PP. So maybe I'll use that on Ivan. And Garrett is kind of dented. Let's have Mia do the rest. Since she is gaining PP faster than everyone else, I should have her do the healing. What was I talking about? Oh man, I cannot stay on topic for the life of me. I'm so sorry. Oh, academia. Yeah, I guess historians are very much an academic job. So I guess I should adjust my personal definition to not just be college jobs, you know? A little more complicated than that. Ooh, harpies. This is how you know you're getting up high in a lighthouse, is the enemies change to things that would be up high. I also love the style of puzzle dungeon where you're like in a tower, or you're in the opposite, you're in like a cave and you're going down farther and farther. And as you go, the puzzles get harder, the monsters get harder, the setting changes. I don't know, that level of evolution as a dungeon is very fun. So I love that, like, aesthetically that's captured in Mercury Lighthouse, on top of the dungeon design being, like, quality, like, Zelda level dungeon, I think. We're, like, getting up there. We've done most of the stuff there is to do. Might do a little grinding here. What's my average level? 9, 10. Let's check something out here. Oh, they're very close to getting the next level. Okay, well, we'll do another couple fights. If I need to grind, I'll do it, but I try to not do that on stream because I think it's boring. Hey, that's satisfying. Okay, I haven't leveled up. So does that just leave Garrett below level 10? Yeah, but he's probably close. 21 more, okay, yeah, one more fight. Well, there it is. If there's like one or two enemies, I'm not gonna really waste my time with Synergy most of the time. I'm just gonna beat the shit out of them. Ooh, oh, there you go. There's, Witch's Wand Stun Voltage. Alright, there's our level. I think we're getting pretty far through the lighthouse here. I don't remember which of these, if any, have something behind it. Maybe none of them. Oh, just the last one. Ah, got a statue to move, because of course I do. Yep, most of the puzzles, I think all the puzzles are done now at this point. I kind of like that the statue, even though we're pretty close to the end, that statue is still there that requires move. To still remind you, oh right, everyone else is helping me to get to the top of the lighthouse. That's why we're all together. Roth is pretty. Oh, we want to see Sleet? Sleet's cool. That's a good one. I like that. Alright, let's do some more healing. Here we go. He who honors the goddess of rainbows shall be guided to the heavens upon wings of fluid grace. What the hell does that mean? You know, I gotta make a comment here. As an aside, to say that I've been chugging some liquid, and we've been tearing ass through Mercury Lighthouse, which is full of water flowing, which means that I gotta pee. So before we do any more actual progression here, I think we're gonna take a quick little pee break because it's time. So let's go ahead and save here. I will not be gone for super long, but I would like to have a nice pee. Thank you. I would like to have a nice pee. So I will be back shortly. I will refresh my water, and I will go to the bathroom. You gotta refill the top and empty the bottom, you know? So, anyway, that's what we will do. We will come right back to Mercury Lighthouse. Stay tuned, hydrate yourself if you haven't been, go pee yourself if you gotta. We'll be right back. Alrighty, and we are back. Sorry, I had to wait for just a second for my monitor to turn back on. I often turn it off while I take my breaks just so I don't have to hear 2 songs at once from the, like, splash screen and the game. Anyway, we are back in Mercury Lighthouse, and a thing was about to happen. I kind of wanted to take a break because, 1, had to pee. 2, this seemed like a better time to do it than later would be. But, you know, got my pee, stretched a little, refilled my traditional 2 beverages, including my very favorite glass. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Kaylee for making this glass. Everyone, shout out to Kaylee. Just kidding. She gets mad when I use Nightbot shout out on her because she does not really stream. And I also am brewing some tea to replace my old tea. Gotta have 2 beverages. I am making some, what is this? It's a berry green tea, I believe. Green tea with wild blueberry and acai. Yeah, berry green tea. Many Christmases ago, again, Kaylee, guess who I hang out with a lot, gave me a very delightful Christmas present, which was a wreath made of a lot of red and green tea bags taped together. No shoutouts allowed. It's my channel, so I do what I want. But fine, I will not use Nightbot shoutout on you at this exact moment. But yeah, she made me a Christmas present, which was a wreath that was a bunch of tea bags constructed in the form of that, and I still have a lot of green tea to this day, which is good. I just go through it slow, so, and there was a lot of it. Yeah. Anyway, so time to do a plot thing, I think. He who honors the goddess of rainbows shall be guided to the heavens upon wings of fluid grace. So, at first thought, you might think, what the fuck does that mean? But if you think about the thing that you often have to do in this dungeon, you have to make water do a different thing by casting ply on a separate thing that seems unrelated. Didn't mean to trigger that twice, sorry. So, did I save? I forget if I saved before here, but I'm gonna save again anyway. Let us transport to the heavens upon wings of fluid grace, whatever that means. Which is to say, here's a fun cutscene. Hey Tanner, welcome to the stream. You have very interesting timing because we're about to do a big cutscene and maybe a big boss that I do not know if I can beat. So this is Mercury Lighthouse. This is one of the like real big plot important dungeons. That we are just about at the end of. The waterfall has become a water up. I don't even know what to call that. I love that. They put so much expression in like these almost cutscenes. So, yep. And that happened. As a reminder, this is the thing we were trying to stop from happening. The team that does this, we've been chasing them around the continent trying to prevent the lighting of the lighthouses, but looks like we were a little late this time. Huh. It's an interesting graphical effect. I don't know how well the flickering works on stream. I know that depending on frame rate, it shows up real bad on YouTube. But hopefully that shows up the way it looks to me, similar to how it looks to you. It's too late. The lighthouse has already been lit. It can't be. The beacon cannot be lit without the Mercury star. About that. The elemental stars were stolen from Sol Sanctum on Mount Aleph. Mount Aleph? Sol Sanctum? Are you healers from Sol Sanctum? Kinda? We're not healers. We came from a village called Vale to recover the 3 elemental stars. But unlike you, we are not healers. Did you say Vale? Our village was there to protect Sol Sanctum, but the stars were stolen. That sounds just like my clan. I have failed in the one duty placed upon me.
This is terrible. Isaac, Garrett! So you might remember that early on in the game, we were trying to chase these folks down. One, because they're trying to destroy the world, question mark. And two, because they kidnapped our friends. So there's our friends and some kidnappers. So it's you, Isaac. Those kids are still alive. You came all this way to save Jenna and Kraden? That's not all. We're after the elemental stars. In other words, they've come to stop us. Then we have no choice. Let's take care of them now before they can do any harm. In my mind, by the way, Saturos and Minardi are just Jesse and James. They're just Team Rocket. Minardi, wait. Oh, Saturos, they want to... I heard everything. They were lucky to survive the eruption of Mount Aleph. You have endured so much, and now you want to throw your lives away? Fine. If that is your wish, prepare to have it granted. Saturos, are you going to fight them alone? Minardi, I can't expect you to leave our hostages alone and help me, can I? That's true. Besides, I want to see how much their powers have developed. Are you sure about this, Saturos? Leave me be. Head for the next lighthouse, now! I'm here, child. Do you mean to defy me? I should teach you a lesson, child, but... Felix, I'd get your sister to obey me if you hope to keep her from harm. Jenna, please, just do as she says for now. Felix. So Jenna was one of our friends, kind of got kidnapped. Kraden was our teacher, got kidnapped too. Felix is Jenna's long presumed dead brother. Turns out that he's been traveling with these guys. So there's some really complicated dynamics happening here. It's all right, Jenna. Isaac and Garrett shouldn't have come after us. I'm sorry, Isaac, Garrett. I'm counting on you. Bye. Isaac, Garrett, don't die. Jenna, Kraden. If you want to save them, you'll have to beat me first. No, get back. What's the matter? Saturos is extremely powerful. I could sense it when I faced him. You have to be very careful when fighting him. We have to match his strength. Uh-oh, boss battles are hard. Match me? Ha! You think you can match the great Saturos? I'm gonna say yes. You overestimate your chances. Fine then, I'll just teach you all a lesson. What happened? Saturos is moving strangely. What's this? The light of Mercury. It's weakening my synergy. I must finish this quickly. Come on, fools. In we go. To a very iconic fight with very iconic music. So this is the Saturos fight. It is well known for, 1, being hard, 2, having great music. It's really not terribly hard if you manage to do a little grinding as you go, which we've done a little bit, but I'd rather be a higher level than 10. But, you know, we're gonna give it a try. So a couple ways we could approach this. I think one pretty good way is to do the sort of Jin exploitation thing. I'm gonna have Mia do most of the synergy. 1, because Mercury's good against him. 2, because she gets her PP refilled at the end of turns. So let's see. Let's maybe
Boost party attack, grab a foe and feverish delusion. One or more of those things. Boost party resistance, I think that's a good idea. Let's see. Let's launch some Synergy while we're at it. Ooh, Delusion. Okay, Delusion isn't a huge deal. Just means their attacks can miss sometimes. Let's see. Did I increase attack? Is that what I did? Yes. Alright, so let's use some physical attacks while we can exploit it. Wrap him in Delusion. That might not be a bad idea. I think I'm gonna go ahead and launch some summons. I'm not gonna wait necessarily for the 2 Jin summons. You don't always need to. Ooh, he has some strong synergy. Really, the hardest part of this battle is that you don't currently have the ability to heal more than one person at once. So something I might want to do then is something like this. So if I use Granite, I take half damage that turn. This will give me a little bit of an opportunity to heal up. With most people, at least. Okay, let's do some healing. Healing ring. Who do I want to heal the most? Either of these guys, really. I probably should have had my tankier people in the center, just because they tend to get targeted the most. I should have moved Ivan to the outside, which you can do. You can reorder your party. I'll have to remember to do that after this fight, or if we lose, I'll go back and do it. Let's try to heal Garrett, I don't know, and then we will do that. The battle animations, the battle screens are really great. I am glad you agree. Like, at the time, again, this came out in 2001, this was a pretty early title for the GBA. Like, the graphics were supposed to be one of the draws to this game, and I think that they do a really good job of it. I love the perspective switches throughout the fight. Yes, it feels great. I love that. Alright. Here's a new fun summon. Not gonna do that much because it's fire and this is a fire guy, but looks flashy. We're doing pretty good so far. No big errors. Okay, let's use Ramses. Garrett doesn't have much to do. I'd heal Isaac, but Garrett's so slow it'll be at the end of the turn. Let's try to attack and hope we don't miss from Delusion. I'm gonna use that healing ring again. Let's use Fizz too. I wanna show off her 2 Jin summon. Plus that'll do a lot of damage. Worst case scenario, Isaac will have full HP and I try to heal him. Which I think it just does it anyway. Okay, I have something to heal now. Alright, I did end up missing with Garrett, but oh well. Alright, so now I have a fun summon to do. Let's see. What do I want to do with Isaac? Maybe let's patch up Ivan. Has my attack all gone back to normal? Nope, still pretty high. Let's, sorry, let me redo this. Let's go ahead and use Forge again. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? If I wait one more turn, then my class goes back up, because 2 Jin is the limit for that. It's every 2 Jin, your class and your stuff goes back up. So I'm gonna stall out a turn for Garrett. Could use Synergy, it won't do much. Let's use Volcano. For Ivan, let's do Magician things, let's do Black Mage things, do the big zap, and then finally, Neri, Princess of the Sea Spirits. This is a fun one. I kind of mentioned this earlier. Some people like to go into this fight by putting all of their Jin on standby first, and then turn 1 just summon spamming. But the damage with that is that when you don't have Jin equipped, you are all at your like base class, so your stats are terrible. So it's very high risk, high reward. Which is good on bosses that like don't have a lot of HP, but Taturos is a challenge. So that strategy never worked well for me fighting him. Let's do some attacking. Okay, so now Garrett is a soldier again, so his stats are better. I could boost resistance again. That would make his energy a little less scary. Let's do it. Mia's got a little catching up to do, but she can still heal. A lot of these fights are about creating and maintaining momentum. Man, attacking doesn't work super well against him because he's just so dodgy. Whoops, I didn't mean to select flee, but in case you're curious, if you try to flee in a boss fight, this is no time to be running away. You hear the voice of Professor Oak in your mind. You know, it's very that. Still deluded. Let's do a Granite turn. We can get a little healing done. There we go. Ooh. Yeah, that does a lot of damage. And that's after the resistance boost. Okay, our attack is reset. That's fine. We just have to keep it in mind. Okay, let's do Jin. I know that under Delusion, regular attacks can miss. I don't think Jin do. I don't think Delusion affects Jin attacks. But I guess we'll find out. Potentially. I think I want to use this to see if I can get him under Delusion, because if I can waste one of his turn by him missing, then I'll be much better off. Let's drop his attack too, see if that works. Handy dandy debuffs. Annoyingly, there's no way to tell how much HP enemies have in these games. There's no such thing as an HP meter for enemies. You just have to mentally have a rough idea of how much damage you've done. But, you know, it is what it is. Let's heal. We'll use an herb on Isaac. We have lots of herbs and they're cheap. Let's use this Jin. I feel like we're making pretty good progress. Ooh, I'm glad I'm healing him. Ah, more Delusion. Annoying. Sorry if I'm not doing a super good job at like being engaging with chat right now. It's not that I don't want to talk to y'all. This just requires all my focus. Ah, there we go. That did it. Ooh, we get a lot of experience because we should have been a higher level. 800 coins. Ooh, holy shit. Isaac, we got him. Who would have thought that Mercury Lighthouse held such great power? If only my Synergy had been at its full power. Churros, you said you were weakened. What'd you mean? I meant nothing. I shall tell you what he means. Ah, here he is. Here's this asshole. That voice! Could it be? Alex! It's been a while, Mia. Alex, do you realize what you've done? Huh, of course. I have freed a great power that has long been sealed away. Mercury, the lighthouse of water. What a mighty force. Alex, are you mad? No, Mia, don't you understand? The lighthouse granted you great power during your battle with Saturos. It's true, I could use my power without ever depleting it. Don't you see? The Mercury Lighthouse supplied you with limitless synergy. Synergy? Are you telling me my powers come from synergy? You and I are both members of the Mercury clan, masters of water synergy. Mia is an adept too, isn't she? Yeah, of course she is. Geez, Isaac, you knew all along and you didn't tell us? Well, just because you didn't figure it out, Garrett. Tell me, Alex, why wasn't Saturos able to use his full power? Yes, I shall explain it all. Alex explains it all. Saturos is aligned with Mars, clan of fire. Fire and water are opposing elements. His full power was bound by the water synergy of the lighthouse. Didn't Saturos know that? Of course he knew. However, he failed to appreciate the power of this lighthouse. As did I. Is that why we were able to defeat Saturos? No, there is more to it. I stood by watching your battle from afar. You were watching us? Well, yeah, he was like back behind the giant floaty ball. Yes, I did not help Saturos because I was certain he would win. But I was wrong. You have become such great fighters in a short time. Saturos is up again? But we beat him. Me? Beaten? Never. I lost to this lighthouse, not to you. I was merely stalling you until Saturos regained his strength. You were just buying time! That's not fair, Alex. I won't let Saturos escape. And just what are you going to do? Will you finish him off? Yeah, fuck him. If that's the case, you will have to fight me as well. I've seen how you fight. Cannot hope to win. And I doubt you are the type to finish anyone off. Of course, you are welcome to believe whatever you want. Also, he can just warp away. So, you know, should have said that first. He warped again. Again? He's done that before? Yeah, in Soul Sanctum. That synergy, the warp, does that mean Mia can use it? No, it's impossible. Even Alex didn't have this kind of power before. Ah, well, can't stay the same Alex you knew forever. Oh, your ride's back. Well, it seems that my ride has returned while we were speaking. And so I bid you adieu. The thing you need to know about Alex is, if this was an anime, he would be voiced by Lucian Dodge. By which I mean, he's a big bastard. Isaac, Saturos still has the elemental stars. That's right, we can't let them leave now. Oh? And you want to take the elemental stars from Saturos? Well, yeah, that's like why we're here. Too bad, Minardi has them. You'll have to ask her. That reminds me. Do you still have the Mars star? No. We do, but no. Are you telling the truth? Well, I shall believe you for now. I suppose you'll be willing to pursue us for the elemental stars? Yeah, dipshit. I look forward to it. I shall see you soon then. Goodbye. I look forward to our next battle. Weirdly polite of them. They're gone. Shoot. Couldn't even save Jenna. Yeah, we really accomplished, like, nothing here. I don't deserve to be a healer. I couldn't stop them from lighting the beacon. I failed my clan, failed in my duty. That's not true. We can still beat them, right, Isaac? Yeah, we're gonna keep chasing them. That's right, Isaac. All we have to do is stop them from lighting all the lighthouses. The Beacon of Mercury lighthouse has been lit, but we'll stop them next time. That's right. This is one setback. That's right. We can save Jenna at the next lighthouse. Yes, we won't let Alex get away with this. Let's go after them now. What's the matter? We should hurry. We? Mia, are you coming along with us? But the people of Amil need you, Mia. It's okay. The fountain shall be filled as long as light fills the lighthouse. That's an old saying. The fountain will run over with healing waters now. I have mixed feelings about leaving, but Amil will be fine as long as the fountain continues to flow with the water of Hermes. We should hurry if we're gonna follow them. So yeah, it does seem a little weird that Mia's just gonna, you know, abandon it and like come hang out with us, but like she doesn't really have anything better to do now. Her one duty was Mia had one job, and it was to stop this from happening, and it happened. So, you know, now she can kind of putz around with us. Plus, she doesn't need to be healer anymore. Okay, so she had 2 jobs, but, you know, we'll see about that job in just a second. I mean, it was kind of mentioned. The elevator comes for us now. Well, some mixed things happening here. So that's, for the most part, that's Mercury Lighthouse. Sorry, Tanner, I missed your message. I've never played this game, but I already know I would love it. The music, the perspective switches. Yeah, it is a very unique series. I think that it narratively does a lot of things well that a lot of stories haven't really. So not to spoil too much, although it sounds like you maybe already know about it, but the second book in this game is meant to be really the second book in a series of 2. And there is a big perspective switch that will let you know a little bit more about kind of what all those other dipshits we just fought are doing. And the people with them. Anyway, notice there's a bunch of people fucking around here. The legend said that if the lighthouse was lit, the fountain would fill again. Looks like the legends were true. How did the fountain know that the beacon was lit? I drank the healing water and now I feel great. I should get a bottle so I can take some home with me. Oh yeah, we kind of stole that guy's bottle. But while we're at it, we might maybe we'll just get some water of Hermes of our very own. Our fountain's back. They say these waters can heal all that lives. All that lives. That means it must work on plants and animals too. Hint, hint. So, for those who tuned in recently, we kind of had 2 different side quests to do at once in this part of the game. This is the second of the 2. Of course, you can kind of do them in either order. It would just be harder to do them in reverse. But we are gonna go kind of resolve things by taking the ends of the 2 of them and combining them together. You don't have to fear any epidemic as long as we have our fountain. Hello, I'm back. Are we winning? Yes and no. On one hand, remember how the whole point of this, of like Isaac and Garrett's quest, was to make sure Mercury Lighthouse doesn't get lit? Well, it's lit. It's lit. Which is actually not terrible. I mean, it is, but a nice thing to come from it is now that the lighthouse is lit, the Fountain of Hermes has sprung forth once more, and so our local healer girl, Mia, is no longer stuck being local healer girl, because they basically just made a Fountain of Youth. So, or at least a Fountain of Health. So, she's gonna come on our quest with us. This is a track that I love very much. Now that the epidemic is cured, you know, not big sad time town music. One thing I love about this track is that it uses the same theme during part of it as the menu theme, page 1, which is sort of thought of as being like a big prologue like theme for the whole thing. I really love this track. But yeah, we are now everyone in Amil is doing a little better, including you know, calisthenics guy. Still doing calisthenics though. I was training hard so that I could withstand any disease, and now the lighthouse fountain is back? Yep. What did I train so hard for all this time? Well, at least you're repped, bro. now that I've let my guard down, I'm getting cold chills. He is still exercising in the middle of a very Scandinavian region in the dead of winter. So, that's cool. Anyway, I'm mostly here to do a cutscene or two. Mia will be leaving us soon, won't she? How do you know? Mia was only in a mill to guard the lighthouse. Now that it's been lit, she'll probably leave us. True. But let's do this. Mia. We were worried that you wouldn't come back. I'm so sorry, you two. Mia, we have a problem. The Mercury Lighthouse, it's been lit. Mia, you already knew? Well, yeah, you can see it. It's like next door. What's the matter? You look strange today, Mia. How should I tell you? You have something to say? What is it? Well, I'll be joining Isaac on his quest. It's very hard for me to leave you, but it's the lighthouse. You said the world would be in danger if the lighthouse was lit, right? Is that why you're leaving? To protect the world? Yes, that's right. Then there's nothing we can do. We won't try to stop you then. After all, you are trying to protect the Mercury clan. Yes, I am. As members of the Mercury clan, we will protect a mill ourselves. So don't worry, okay? I will try hard and learn to heal as well as you, Mia. Okay, I'll leave the village in your hands, Megan, Justin. Very Scandinavian names, Mia, Megan, and Justin. We can leave without any worries now. We had to say bye to her family. We don't know exactly how she's related to Megan and Justin. I think it said that her and Alex are first cousins, but their family is not around anymore. So, I mean, they're, their parents. Their older family. So, Hirschwinter's in a mill. Anyway, so that's a pretty productive time that we had. Time to do a little backtracking. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of good ways to fast travel in this game. Not across large swatches of the world map. But you don't generally have a lot of reason to. We'll just stab some bears on our way out. So, bear with me while we do some backtracking. Sorry I've been caught up in a lot of cutscenes. I've been over-sufficiently chatty with the game and insufficiently chatting with y'all. How are you guys' weekends going? I know a lot of y'all just got back from family trips of some variety of kinds. In theory, my family is actually doing a family trip thing right now. I am just not going with them for COVID safety reasons, which is a thing that they don't really respect quite as much as I do. But, we're fine. We're safe. Well, I am. That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, something a little obnoxious about Retreat, by the way, this energy that takes us back to the entrance of dungeon, is it remembers what entrance we came in. So, like, if I used Retreat, it would take me back to the way I came in. It wouldn't warp us across to the other entrance that we originally came in. Like, before we ever went to a mill. But, whatever. Bilbin Cave's pretty short. If you remember the way. And I do know the way. Stupid trolls. You made me look bad. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really do here. We have a little bit of change in scenery. Well, we will. Not immediately. You'll see what I mean when we get there. Let me do some healing. Unfortunately, now that I'm out of Mercury Lighthouse, Mia, eventually runs out of PP like everyone else. But, it was nice while it lasted. I think we're by Bilibin. Yep, there it is. I don't really need to do anything in Bilibin. Nothing much changed. Yeah, that guy who was a tree is still a tree, because we have to be the ones to fix everything. So, back to the land of the Ents. Ah, so here's something a little different. Do you remember how there were those 3 tree people stacked up? Looks pretty, not stacked anymore. You want to find out why? They crossed the river after pushing us down. This is terrible. How could anyone do that? Guess who they are? She'll be swept downstream if she isn't pulled to shore. So, here is a time to do a nicety. Ah! Please, anyone, please help! Let's pull her back. What will we do? Thank you! You saved me from being washed downstream! We saved a tree lady! Yay! By the way, it is obviously possible to not do that and just keep going right. I don't really know what happens if you don't do it. I don't have it in me to not save the tree. Anyway, speaking of saving trees. So, we do unfortunately, because of the order we did stuff in, have to go back through Kalima Forest. So, as a reminder, what we're kind of doing here is, a big bad thing happened. A magic Ent got real mad and turned everybody into trees. He was gonna turn people back into not trees, but he's not feeling so great these days. Probably because we attacked him, because he attacked us. Oops. But now we have the water from the magic fountain, which has been very heavily hinted that that's the thing you do next. Chicken shit, rat soldiers. Yeah, these enemies are pretty nothing now. So, cutscenes would have been a little different. We could have gone and done all that stuff and gotten Mia, and then done the Kalima stuff, and then cutscenes, like, basically they would be the same, but she gets some lines too. She appears and has lines too. But it's not a big enough difference that I feel too weird about us not seeing that version. It's almost identical. But just to let you know, I think it's cool that the developers had the insight to know that you could have done things the hard way around. At least then you wouldn't have to do all these puzzles a second time. But the enemies and the boss would be pretty anticlimactic. I'm kind of just running because, like, they're really just annoyances. You know? We've been here before. We've grown since then. I think we do have to redo the log puzzle. Does this stay rolled back? No, we have to do the log puzzle again. That's okay. If we aren't going for that treasure chest that we already opened, so we're not, it's easy. So I love this particular variation of the log puzzle. Not only one where you have to roll the logs around to be able to pass through, but you have to build a bridge. This is a pretty simple one, because it's the first one you see, but there is an optional puzzle dungeon at the very end of this game containing... Oh, so here's another thing, in case you don't know. Another thing Golden Sun is infamous for is having bonus dungeons and puzzle bosses and super bosses that are harder than the final boss of the game. The Golden Sun games are infamous for that. So there is one of those that I do plan on showing off on stream, because it's a very unique experience. It will, the fact that I have to do that, it will make the proper final boss a little easy, a little anticlimactic. But otherwise it'd be very hard, so I don't feel that bad about it. I'm just gonna run. So, here's Laurel. If we read her mind, we got this hint. The healing waters of Mercury Lighthouse might save Tret. But the fountain's waters have long since dried up. Not anymore! So I guess we're just gonna kind of dump these on you, you know? The water of Hermes seeped into Tret. Wow, it's nice forest again. I feel a great power spreading through me. Boom. Life flows within me once again. Her side eye is everything to me. The fact that she lives off to the side, so to look at him, she constantly has to side eye, that's very funny. Tret. As you have recovered, so has our forest. I am sorry to have worried you so, Laurel. And you, young ones, didn't you have a favor to ask of me? Yeah, you turn people into trees. You must turn the people of Kalima into humans again. Yes, that's right. I must hurry. That should do it. The people of Kalima are cursed no more. Tret did not always possess this horrible power. It only started when those strange gemstones fell from the sky. Gems from the sky? Do you think he means the Synergy Stones? Well, yep. We did blow up the Synergy Stone mountain. You really think Synergy Stones caused all of this trouble? I was indeed angry that people had laid waste to my forest. They even had taken their access to me. Then those gems fell into my branches. Then all of a sudden, my fury overwhelmed me and I was lost in anger. The gem reached me when I was filled with sorrow. Her actions spoke our heart's desires, but we had no idea. Those gems twisted my anger into a force beyond my control. Have any of the saplings been transformed by those stones, Tret? No, only the elder trees were affected by the falling Synergy Stones. There are others that this happened to? So the same thing could be happening elsewhere. You must have fought many monsters on your way here. Those monsters, maybe they were just animals that were... Once they were pure of heart. Oh, those gems have brought a great evil to the world. Oh, Laurel, you were given powers too? I like how Isaac turns, it's easy to miss because he doesn't say anything, but Isaac then turns to Ivan and just him alone nods to him. It's kind of funny that Isaac, like, despite being the silent protagonist, is, like, portrayed as being kind of bitter and snarky, which is very fun. Different from my own, but stemming from the same source. Laurel, what in the world are you doing? Wait, you will soon see. What did you see, Laurel? It's true, even the animals have become monsters. And beyond the river... The river that feeds our forest? Yes, an evil forest has risen up to the south of the river. Gotta love an evil forest. Will you be heading south across the river? Yes, it's the only place we have not been, so got to. That area will only grow more dangerous as time passes. If you must go, you'd better hurry. I owe you a great debt. You have saved Kalima, the forest, and me. May your roots dig deep and your branches reach high. Happy forest music! Yay, we did it! How lovely. So anyway, that's the Kalima forest thing resolved. And as we will soon see, we have fixed the tree issue. I'm actually going to do a little bit of optional backtracking here. Very optional. We will take a brief side trip into Kalima, which we will later pass all the way through, just to see, hey, people ain't trees anymore. We did it. We rely on the forest so much, and yet we hurt the sacred tree. Maybe we can work to restore harmony in the forest now. Did it for you, bitch. This is Kalima, Village of Lumberjacks. I'll shout it out loud. This is Kalima! For a while I thought I'd never be able to say this, but I have to say it. I've been waiting all my life for this moment. I love that this game gives a little personality to the various people who stand at the beginning of at the entrance to a village and just greet people. That's like their whole deal. The forest trees are alive just as we are. Astute observation. Don't blame the villagers for being tempted by McCoy's money. Anyone would be tempted by such a staggering sum. So, speaking of, as a reminder, all this happened because the McCoys were like, hey, we're rich, let's go knock down the giant ancient magic trees and build a palace from it. Here's all the money so we can do that. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. In fact, let's go pay a visit to the McCoys. What do you say? That's the side tripping that I want to do here. Remember that tree that we saved? Maybe there are people now too. Hey, you're that guy. Jill, are these the people who saved you? Remember me? I was that tree. I would have been swept down the river if it wasn't for you. We did a good deed. We saved a lady who was a tree. Please, take this. It is a small token of my appreciation. A single peanut. I will never forget what you've done for me. Thank you so much. It's awful luck being turned into trees just then. We just wanted to pick persimmons. Who knew what would happen? Yeah, I remember they were all stacked up trying to get to that tree. Whose idea was it to pick persimmons anyway? I will think of you whenever I eat persimmons. These persimmons are just like my memories. So bitter. I really like this spot by the riverbank. My heart feels at peace. Well, it wasn't my idea to go pick persimmons. I like how they all blame each other for this terrible timing thing that happened. Hey, Billicade. The Bilibin barricade's open now. Still, not well constructed, but, you know, door's open. So, we're gonna head back to Bilibin just to have a couple conversations and pick up an item or two. This is kind of optional, but I like to do it. I was turned into a tree for a while. Can you believe it? Yeah, I can, weirdly. I think I now know what it means to stick your roots into one place, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone else. Never want to be turned into a tree again. It was terrible. Welcome to Bilibin. We'll forget the whole curse business in no time. I love it. The eruption on the other side of the mountain seems to have stopped. Things are finally peaceful again. There will be fewer guests now that the fuss is over. Whoever ended the curse sure didn't do us any favors. Yeah, but what do you really think? It'd be better for business if the curse had not been broken so fast. I love the selfish innkeepers in this game. Isn't that curse in Kolyma horrifying? Even heroes like you can feel fear. Just imagine how scary it was for us poor townsfolk. Well, I was only acting scared so that I'd fit in. I wasn't really scared. Okay, great. I'm a little surprised that the head chef is working so hard. There's no business here, so I'm headed south of the river to Xi'an. Perhaps I'll take Silk Road as far as Tolbi. These are places we'll talk about later, and see later. They served so much food today. They do that every day, they won't make any money. There we go. Wish I could eat like this all the time. I like the kitchen people. That was some meal. Don't you just love the food here? I haven't had it, so no. What? Why am I even talking to you when I could be eating? I better eat a lot. That chef's gonna burn out in no time. I really think the head chef has changed. It's too much. I can't keep up with his energy. Yeah, when there's a curse happening, he was a little uninspired. Let's see, soup, salad, and... oh, I forgot the dressing. 2 specials, 1 dinner, 1 sandwich, 1 dessert. Hurry up! Hey you, are you done yet? Almost. If you want a meal, speak to the waitress. I'll go to Kolyma when the customers are gone. In the meantime, I'll cook like there's no tomorrow. Sorry, there's just so much characterization to the NPCs in this game that I can't help myself from talking to as many people as possible. You know, when people say like, oh, I love that this game has RPG mechanics added to it, they often say like, oh, you can do leveling up, you can take care of your stats and watch the numbers go up and do the bleep bloop. What they should really mean by RPG mechanics is there's an area full of people that you can talk to and immerse yourself in. And this game does that, like, more wonderfully than I think any other RPG I've ever played. And it's little touches like that that I absolutely adore. Let's see. Serve them water, then get the silverware. The head chef will yell at you if you slow down. The chef was so lazy until just the other day, but all of a sudden I'm having trouble keeping up with how much he's changed. Anyway, like, they could have totally just put a couple, like, 2 random NPCs in this inn and just not done that, but instead we get, like, this whole sitcom. I just love it. I love how this game does characterization. It's just so beautiful. There's just so much life to it. I saw Lord McCoy, the chief of Bilibin, walking through town for the first time in a long while. He must be relieved to see that the curse has been broken. About that. Oh, it's... Oh, sir. We've been looking everywhere for you. The curse of the holy tree. You're the ones that broke it, right? Yep. You're under arrest. Let's go. Lord McCoy is waiting. I love that they're just like, hey, I want to talk to that guy. I'll just make all my soldiers fucking arrest him. You've brought the warriors, my lord. Oh, I have to do the Scottish accent again. Ugh. Okay, apologies in advance. I cannot do it. But with his sentence construction, I feel like I have to. So you're the brave lads I met before. What were your names again? He's Isaac, sir, and I'm Garrett. I am called Ivan. I am Mia, from the village of Amil. Isaac and company. And did I not decline your offer when we first met? You know, it's super weird, the fact that he's Scottish, he's the only Scottish person here, but like, the rest of this whole area is based on Western Russia. I don't know. Ye did. I didn't give it enough consideration back then. And yet you went on to break the curse despite my words, did you not? I humbly thank you. Oh, I guess that guy also kind of has the accent. I was a bit worried you might messed up here on your way back. Maybe that was supposed to be his line and they just forgot to put the portrait in? I don't know. I want to show my appreciation for your help. I relied on my money, but I forgot about my people's needs. You reminded me of my duties. As lord of these lands, I will do my best for everyone's behalf. Isaac, it would honor me greatly if you'd accept a wee token of my gratitude. I'm getting a little Canadian. For some reason, whenever I try to do like a Scottish accent, I always lean Canadian or Australian. By which I also mean a terrible parody of those accents. Ugh. Voices are hard. I could give it to you here, but would you rather not choose it yourself? I guess. Very well. You can choose something that'll help you along your way. I will show Isaac and his friends the way, my lord. Many thanks to you and to your companions as well. Visit me anytime. You'll always find a warm hearth here. Yay, we're gonna go get treasure. Remember how we saw those chests up there and the guy was like, yeah, whichever hero breaks the curse gets to have all this treasure. Well, Lord McCoy ordered that Isaac and his companions be brought here. Please show them the reward. You may select a single item from among these 4 chests. You don't even get to know what's in them. You get one random thing. I don't remember what's good. This one? Psy Crystal. Sure. That is pretty valuable. But I want, war treasure. Nope. Only locked chests in the game. Oh, I forgot to use this. Ah, so Jill gave us this. It's a defense boosting item. Can go in a lot of people. I'm gonna give it to Ivan because Ivan dies too easy. It's the obvious choice. So anyway, I came back here to get that and to have a couple conversations. I also want to talk to Lady McCoy because fuck her. My palace is not finished. McCoy loves that holy tree more than he loves me. She has not learned her lesson. He said he stopped construction so that I would not be cursed. I think he's just trying to weasel out of his promise. Now that the curse is broken, why don't we start construction again? It'd still be working if we hadn't tried building using the holy tree. I told him not to use it. It's over. Over! The Lord decided not to build the palace. That was close. Building a cursed palace looks really bad on your resume. See, there's so many just great little one-liners in this game. So many. This game has such a peculiar sense of humor. I love it. That is a great quote. Building a cursed palace doesn't look that great on your resume. Ugh, I love that. Alright, well, that's Bilibin for you. Let's head back through Kalima. We'll do a little bit more progression in the stream. We've done quite a lot. We cleared Kalima Forest. We went back and cleared Mercury Lighthouse. We went back and fixed Tread Up. So now we can finally proceed. I am gonna spend a little bit of time in Kalima now that people are treant anymore. Get it? Treant? Tree, not, but also treant, whatever. That was a terrible pun, I'm sorry. Robin, I hope you appreciate that one. Anything to sell? Ah, well, we don't need this empty bottle anymore, so there's a free chunk of coin. We could actually, if we wanted to, for some reason, go back and get Water of Hermes again. It basically is used the same way as a potion. It just cures all HP, but it's not really worth it. Especially because when you get multiple potions, they stack. Like this, like the nuts, like I have 6 of them, they stack in one slot, but Water of Hermes doesn't stack. And by the end of the game, inventory room can be a little crammed, so it's not worth it for me. In fact, I think I'm gonna sell... I don't need the poison cure to have an antidote. I don't really ever hold on to elixirs either. Herb, it's 7 coins, it's not worth it. I'll hold on to it. Herbs are handy. But let's see. What weapons do you have? A witch's wand. Oh, we already have a witch's wand. The magic rod is actually worse. About fun armor? No fun armor. Oh well. Good regular armor? Ah, Adept's clothes. Here's some great armor, actually. This is really what I wanted. Clothing that boosts your base PP. Very, very useful. I'm not gonna buy it for Garrett, because he has that thing for Mercury Lighthouse, which is this but better. But it's great on these folks. By the way, the fur coat that I got in Kalima Forest that protected against mercury, against water damage, useful for Mercury Lighthouse. Thank you for your service, fur coat. Fur coat, words. But you no longer spark joy, but thank you for your service. I want to give the thing that lets the Black Mage do Black Mage things to the Black Mage, you know? Yes, I will sell the fur coat. Game tickets. So, as you buy stuff throughout the game, you get a lot of game tickets. You'll see what that does when we get to a place we can use it. That'll be quite a ways on. But for now, we're just gonna board them up. Alright. Can I zip wear these? Yes. I forget that, so there's a distinction between clothes and robes. So, these are Adept's clothes. They're technically better than his leather armor. Alright, so we all get a nice PP boost. Love to boost my PP. Anyway, now that I've made that very obvious joke, we are out of here. Bye, Kalimans. Actually, I want to talk to a couple people just for immersion. Let's spend just a couple minutes chatting. I am told the Holy Tree's rage caused this horrible incident. Do you believe that was the only cause? Ah, wise man. Nope. I agree. Something did change when the gems fell. If the Holy Tree alone caused all this, then I failed in my duty. I should have stopped them from cutting down the tree. Well, you may have wanted to do that, but commerce churns on. Oh, we already talked to him. Anything to do in the inn? I forget. I love this tall inn though inside the tree. I'm only a merchant, but I got turned into a tree just for staying here. I think I'll head to Xi'an south of the river now that I'm a man again. So that's kind of eventually where we're going. I'd wish I'd grabbed some of those gems that fell from the sky. It must be worth a fortune. I've been a lumberjack for years, but I've never seen anything like this. I think I'll go home to my family in a mill. Oh, I bet that's the dad of that one girl in the item shop in a mill that said her dad is a lumberjack. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay with that. No more work here. Kalima can go back to being a quiet little village. I guess if I was really going off of local influences, I should be giving people here a Russian accent. I cannot do a Russian accent very well. A close friend of mine is learning Russian. I've accidentally picked up a little bit of Russian from him. Mostly just kind of how to transliterate the alphabet. But yeah, I don't claim to possess any actual useful knowledge there. Remaining a quiet villager means remaining poor. I was hoping Kalima would flourish with all the construction. That's something I love to do, is go talk to the innkeepers, because it's always, you get there's a bunch of people in the inn because they're like, oh no, Calamity! And then you read their mind and they're like, oh boy, Calamity, we're making so much money. And then they all leave and they're like, god damn it, the Calamity's over. I need more Calamity. They say that McCoy halted construction of the palace. If no more work, all the lumberjacks that came to make money will leave. The village is really booming with all that work. But what good is it if you get turned into a tree? At least he's logical about it. Anyway, what a time. Away we go. So, we are finally able to move on to a new place. Once we kind of, snake around this river here. Remember this bridge? Had some sad music before, but now it has the happy village music. Are you going to cross the bridge? Oh, right. Go right ahead. Yeah, he couldn't do that when he was a tree. Thanks, man. For a while, I thought no one would ever cross this bridge again. Enjoy every crossing, for it could be your last. You wouldn't understand, but it's truly a joy to cross this bridge. He's just very passionate about that bridge. So, we're on moving south of Russia, and what's south of Russia? Well, other parts of Asia. So, here is a technically optional part of the game. Technically optional, but very much recommended part of the game. If I were to go south through this bridge, I would immediately be in a forest. So, as a reminder, remember how Laurel was like, I sense that suddenly there is an evil forest south of this area. Surprise, sudden forest. Yeah, some weird shit happened because of the Psynergy crystals. Including suddenly there's lizard men. That's a whole thing. In fact, it kind of comes around. It's implied that these things are not super sentient. I mean, they're about as smart as the Lazaphos in, like, Breath of the Wild, or I guess in Zelda in general. But it turns out that we kind of did cause a race of beastmen to evolve when that happened. And that's kind of a plot point. I mean, they get a lot of stuff happening in a little bit in the next game, in The Lost Age, the second Golden Sun game, but especially in Dark Dawn, the 3DS game. So anyway, I'm not going to head south yet here because I want to go to Fusion Temple. So we're going to spend a little bit of time here. We actually have a short dungeon to do in here. It will not take that long. I think that's how I will conclude the stream. But I do want to go ahead and do this dungeon on stream. So, because, I mean, it's not that long either. I think I'm going to take another short little pee break, because I've been sitting here chugging my green tea like no tomorrow. especially now that's done. So, again, I think this is as good as a place as any to take a short little break, just because it's a short little side area. So, we will deal with Fusion Temple a little bit in a bit, but I'm going to take another short little pee break, not a very long one, but we will be back in probably just like 2 minutes. I'm just going to pee and come right back. Yep. So we will do that, and I see you with your shady little uptime, Kaylee. Let me stream, let me do it. It won't be that long. Anyway, I'm having a good time. So, yeah, I'm gonna pee, we're gonna come right back, and then we'll do a short little side dungeon. All right, and we are back. Back to Fusion Temple. Oh, my game is saved. Oh, I guess that's what I did right before I stopped. Anyway, so we are here in Fusion Temple. Like I said, there's kind of a short little trip to make here. This is a technically optional part of the game, but I'm gonna do it anyway because, well, there's a gen in here and I'm trying to get all the gen. This game isn't really something that you can completionist. There isn't like a bestiary to fill out, or like items you have to collect. But you can be completionist about the gen at least, and I will. So like 100%ing this game isn't something that most people care about, but they care about finding all the gen. That's really the one exception. And there are gen in here. So even though this is optional, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So one other note as I explore through, I talk a lot about how there's stuff that I love about how the world is built to be analogous to ours. So like, for instance, Klima is a real place, Bilibino is a real place. Fusion Temple is meant to be a group who, well, the people who live here, such as this guy. Gems from the sky, blue lights in the north, all omens of disaster. They match legends of destruction described in our oldest scrolls. These guys are meant to be reminiscent of the Buddhist monks, with the temple itself inspired by the real Shaolin Monastery, or the legendary Southern Shaolin Monastery in Fujian, am I saying that right? Fujian province in China. So Fujian province, Fusion Temple, basically the same. Anyway. Blue lights in the north. Terrifying. A rain of broken stars. A forest suddenly grows. All omens. You know what's really kind of funny is, even though throughout the course of this game, you do a lot of going around and traveling to different cultures, especially in the second game, because you get a ship. Spoilers, sorry. You get a ship, I'll just tell you that. Really, you get a ship at the end of this game, so it's not a huge spoiler. Well, okay, that's a double spoiler. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. Just kidding, I have to keep talking, it's my stream. Anyway, you do a lot of touring around, but like there are only a few places where they give the locals weird accents, and it's very funny, given that this is a Japanese game, that the only place that they really do that is like the area that represents China and the places like directly next to it. I find that very funny. So once you get in Xi'an, it's a lot of like, you know, take candle, like a lot of that like structure of broken English, and that's the only place they do it. And I don't know. The Japanese sentiment about the Chinese and the way it's represented in video games is very strange. I don't know that I would ever truly understand it as a person who is not Japanese. But it's kind of similar to like the fun stereotypes that they put on people from Shing and Full Metal Alchemist. That's what Xi'an is kind of basically in here. Many stars fell from the sky, just as it says in the scrolls. Is this truly a portent of the world's destruction? Maybe. Oh, we haven't talked to this guy. How did you get here? Is the bridge open again? Really? Then I can go home to Kalima now? I thought I'd never go home, what with the cursed forest and all. I don't feel safe going home alone. Hope a monk will escort me. Must suck to not be able to cross a bridge, because the bridge guy is a tree now. Yunba has not eaten in days. He's going to waste away to nothing. I can't imagine fasting. Gets me depressed just thinking about it. Yeah, me too. Isn't it noble of him to try to save the world by becoming enlightened? I want to exploit all of these task or conversation trees. Do you know what you mean when you say that? I guess not. To achieve enlightenment, one fasts to cleanse body and mind. Freed from worldly concerns, one can use the mind's powers. I will train to become a good monk. Then I will save the world, even if I must sacrifice myself. Heady thoughts, sir. Heady thoughts. I'm traveling around the world to spread goodwill. Since I'm here, I'd like to learn the secrets of Fusion Temple, but that won't happen unless I undergo intense training. Well, at least he's realistic about it. We'll get that Senator Stone shortly. Ah, here he is, Nyunpa himself. Well, first thing I'm gonna do is, Ludishin. Nope, not that one. There we go. Unicorn ring. Here's poison. I'll give that to someone who can't already cure poison. Garrett, I guess. Sure. Poison isn't a super troublesome status ailment, but it's good to have one way to cure it, so. Not a big talker, huh? I leave? Nope. Maybe we do this? Who is that? Who speaks to my mind? Young master, was that your voice I heard in my mind just now? Yeah, ma'am. I knew it. You follow them, do you not? I think so. I knew it. I love that just every time we say yes or no, just, I knew it. But you must go through Mogul Forest, the endless woods. The forest itself is a mystery, and its paths even more so. No ordinary man can pass from one side to the other. But perhaps I could, young master. I like Nyunpa. He's very enigmatic and kind of silly. If you can endure the trials in the Waterfall Grotto, I will tell you. Will you take the test? Sure. You technically do not need to do this, but I will go ahead and spoil something for next stream. Mogul Forest is the lost woods of this game, and it's very hard to navigate your way through without the ability you get in Fusion Falls. In theory, you can do it. It's not anticipated that you would do it, but you can. So the game developers had to throw in a couple cutscenes in case you didn't do this, but they really don't want you to not do this. So we're gonna do it. They put the Djinn in, so I feel like I have to do it. I guess I could go in, get the Djinn, and leave, but while I'm in there, I might as well. You know? Do not worry. You will be permitted to enter the grotto. Go now, Isaac. How he knows your name. Just remember, you are not the only ones who can read minds. See, he's fun and kind of silly. I like him. Didn't really need that, but I'll go ahead and use it. Synergy stones really exist to act as effectively an inn in a place where it wouldn't make sense to put an inn or to, you know, charge you money. I have already heard of your test from Master Nyunpa. You may enter. So, in we go. Fusion Falls Cave. So there are quite a bit of puzzles in here, but it's a relatively short dungeon. So this will probably be the last thing we tackle today. The dragon's flame illuminates the path of truth in darkness. Okay, so remember that. If we want to illuminate the path of truth in darkness, if we see a dark thing, we need dragon's flame. Ooh, chest. Just kidding, it wants to eat you. I knew it was a mimic, but again, these things are worth fighting anyway, because they give you something good. I think this one gives you a game ticket, which is pretty skippable, to be honest, but might as well. I also think the mimic's designs are very fun and silly, and I like things that are fun and silly. I don't like how spindly it is, how buggy, crabby, spindly, pinsy, you know. Not a big fan of arthropods, just as a rule of thumb. It's probably go faster if I use Synergy. Or I could do it more efficiently, like in fewer turns, but it's easier for me if I'm just fighting one thing to just jam A whole bunch. Yep, game ticket. Oh well. It's on its way to become Crab. That's absolutely it. It's a chest that's on its way to become Crab. See, everything got hit with Synergy Stone, everything has to evolve, so everything's becoming Crab. That's it. You're so right. So true, bestie. Anyway, that is not Due. This one must be. This is one of those dungeons that looks very hard to navigate, and it's not exactly linear, but it is a little bit more so than it initially seems like it is. So from here, we could go up, right, or left. Well, okay, can't go right, just kidding. Up or left? This is kind of what I mean about looking linear, but, or not looking linear, but it kind of is. We go up here. Is this where I think it is? Ah, yes. I don't care about these. Go away. Go away. I don't want to fight you. Stop making more. Remember that Truth and Darkness thing? It's a little dark in here. Fun fact, there's a glitch where I can just kind of do this. I'm not supposed to be able to do this. Well, I say that. They say illuminate the path. Right now I am on the path. We just can't see that it's the path because it's too dark in here. But let's pretend I can't just walk off the cliff onto air. Let's pretend. I don't think... People were always like, oh, I found this glitch. You can do it anyway. I don't think it's supposed to be a glitch. I think you're supposed to be able to do that if you want to. Ah, here's the other thing I wanted from here. The Arctic Blade. I think maybe now would be a really good time to do some... what's it called? To, I don't know, shuffle some Jin around. So, here's the Arctic Blade. It is a long sword with, as you can see, a really high attack. Unleashes Blizzard. As you can probably guess, oh, it doesn't say. I wish it said in the details, but as you can probably guess, Blizzard is an attack that is, water and ice, so Mercury oriented. Problem is, our Mercury party member can't use long blades. It's like as tall as she is. So we want to give it to somebody, but like it wouldn't be as strong as it is if we don't have like Mercury capabilities. How do we fix that? Put Mercury Jin on the guy holding it. So let's do a little shuffling around. Now that we have 2 Jin on everybody, I think it's a fair time. So one kind of fact about that, I think I maybe started this thought earlier and didn't finish it. If I were to give Jin to somebody, the game makes it so that you have to kind of keep Jin equal. So what that means is that like whoever you're moving the Jin off of has to have other Jin given to them. So, which is to say, I can't just give Isaac the Mercury Jin. I have to trade, which means that I can't just put Isaac in the class I want. That has to also disrupt the class of the other person. So it's kind of a balancing act. But maybe that's not a bad idea. Maybe we'll let Mia get some Venus Jin and see what that does to her. So let's trade these. So Mia would become a seer. Isaac would become a swordsman. What is that gonna do? So looks like Mia would lose Ply, which isn't great, but she still gets Cure and Cure Well, so she can still be a healer. She still has Cure Poison, so she still very much operates as a pretty good white mage. It looks like her stats are gonna go down. It's not a huge dip, but agility actually goes up. So what happens to Isaac? Well, he loses Cure and Cure Well in some of his synergy. He still has Retreat, he gets Cure Poison, and he gets Thorn, which isn't too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and trade that. But remember that like bigger class changes happen every 2 Jin also. So if I make that trade one more time, the stats go back up. So Mia becomes a diviner. Her stats get a lot better even if her synergy doesn't change much. And whoops, I forgot to, hold on, let me reverse that. I forgot to look at Isaac. And Isaac becomes a defender. He learns Ply, so he gets his healing back, and he learns Avoid. And Avoid is very handy. Avoid reduces encounter rates. So I like to have a defender. I think the defender is a great class. It has healing, it has good attack. The stats are actually pretty similar to how Isaac's would have been normally. His defense is even higher. Now his defense is higher than Garrett, who was like our tank. So it does slow him down quite a bit. Isaac was the second fastest, and now he's slower than Mia, as opposed to him being faster than Mia. But we made Mia faster too. She's a little squishy, but that's okay. I think that this is a fun Jin setup. So, something you can do. In fact, let's go ahead and use Avoid while I'm thinking about it. Fewer fights now. What weapon was he holding? Can I give that to someone else? It's a broadsword. Ugh. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, I love to do fun Jin stuff, so that kind of helps. Which way do we come from? Up? Did we come from here? Yeah, we came from here. Let's go down. Yeah, the Arctic Blade is a really great weapon. Okay, see these spikes? That's usually a bad idea. We all get hurt a little bit if we walk on spikes. So you want to try to not do that. Or we can just do this. At no point do you ever have to walk on spikes. Ah, this is the first row, remember this? Over a little bit to the left of me, that platform was where the Mimic was. More spikes. Ah, Jin room. Alright, gotta solve the puzzle to get the Jin. Oh, so this is a fun variation of the log puzzle. Well, I guess this isn't a log puzzle, but we can cross in a direction here. I want to get over to the right, of course, right? I want to take this thing and log roll it over to the right, but I can't because this thing's in the way. So what we gotta do is roll it back one, roll this up, hop across. It's a cute little puzzle. I like it. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and save here. Because, as per usual, if you see a Jin in a dungeon, you usually have to fight it. So let's do some fun swordsman things. Wanna see Thorn? I think Tret used Thorn earlier, so you've seen it, but hey, whatever. Ooh, Froth and Growth are maybe new. Here's Froth. Oh, we saw the Siren use Froth earlier. Let's do Growth. I also find it so interesting that, though neither of them have access to it by default, since both Mia and Isaac have both Venus, so Earth, and Mercury, so water makabilities, now they have the ability to control plant life. Because plants have connection to Earth and water, right? Makes perfect sense. If I were to give Fire Jin to Mia, all of her attack's energy stops being ice and starts being water, because fire melts water. I don't know, little touches like that are so cool. I love that design. Let's just attack. We'll see if we can activate Blizzard. It ran. Hold on, is there a door I can go through and come back? I could just reload the save, but I don't want to go to all that trouble if I don't have to. I think I can just do this. Yep, it's back. Okay, cool. I guess I kind of got hurt, but I can fix that. There we go. Oops. Oh well. Okay, let's try that one more again. If I really wanted to, I could just spam summons here, but that feels like a waste. Ooh, spam Flint. There we go. There's a fun Blizzard. I love that attack animation. Ooh, it drops enemy attack too. That's pretty useful. Especially, here's some great synergy. I also made Isaac a defender in the process. And so I increased his defense, lower their attack. See, it all works out. I suppose I could summon Venus. Sure. What to do here? Actually, wait, I was boosting his attack with impact, wasn't I? Okay, we'll keep attacking. You can summon Venus. Growth. Sure. Something like that. Ah, that did it. Hey, and now that we're level 11, we get more Synergy. So in any class, you generally unlock Synergy at like specific set levels. Just like how Pokemon at certain, like when they hit certain levels, their move will dictate they get a certain move to learn. Only thing is you don't have to delete moves. So we get the Cutting Edge, which is a, basically it's an attack synergy, but it makes it stronger and gives it the Mercury element. Very handy. Very, very handy. Zephyr did join Isaac. Why Isaac? Because he's the first guy in order. But looks like right now we're still putting all the Jupiter gen on the Jupiter guy, so we'll do that. Since this is his 3rd gen and not a multiple of 2, it doesn't change his class. But better stats. Zephyr boosts party agility with Swift Wind. Not super useful, to be quite honest. Not all gen effects are as valuable as others, but it's nice for the stats. Gives him a good agility boost. I think this is just a shortcut back to this room. See, so it's not really that big of a dungeon. It just kind of wraps around itself a lot. Now we're on the other side. There do be a dragon here, of an eyeless dragon. What went on the sockets? Remember when we first came in, what did it say? There was a sign that was like, something about illuminating truth in the path of shadows with dragon's flame. So we gotta do something with the dragon, right? Am I doing this puzzle right? I think I am. Yeah, there we go. Now I can go left. Ah, well, there's something. Oh, here's Cutting Edge. I'm just gonna use a bunch of stuff here for funsies. Broth is pretty. I love that. So fast. Spirit level. Ooh. Big levels. We got a nut. Who is the nut holder? Isaac is the nut holder. Okay. What is this? The dragon's eye. Well, gee, I wonder what I'd do with that. Do I put it in the socket of the eyeless dragon? Maybe. I don't know. This is kind of cool. Here's a cool effect. You want to see a cool effect? What do you think happens when I put the eye in? Shining red jewel with flames inside. That always reminded me of the cutscenes when you get an item and it reveals a new area in the Wario Land games. Anyway, you see that path? That is actually the shadow of a path above it that is mostly invisible. But now that we have some more light in the room. Alright, I think this can take me back. Again, this is one of those dungeons that, because it wraps around itself, it makes it look a lot bigger than it is. Nope, that's where we got the eye. It's this shortcut down here that takes me back there. Right. I believe this is it. Is this the room? Yes. So remember how we could kind of do this earlier? That's why. We can take the path now. Looks like it takes me over here. Alrighty, what's in here? What do we got? The secret of Key shall be revealed to the disciples of truth. Is that us? Maybe. Isaac got the Orb of Force. Bestows force when equipped. So this is another thing. Remember early on we got the catch beads when we left Vale? So it's just a synergy item that if you equip it, you learn the spell. Force is one of those. So this gives us the spell Force, which looks a little like, oh, hold on, wrong menu. Looks a little like this. And it turns out that Force is a pretty unnecessary synergy, but it is useful in very specific situations. Well anyway, we got the thing we came here for. Let me read this. Rays of light give birth to shadows, revealing the way. Yeah, I already did that. Anyway, I could do retreat, or I could just go back, because we're like right by the entrance. So I'm not gonna waste the BP. I'll use it on healing instead. No! Of course I get attacked right as I say that. Alright, we run. Oh, I still have a couple of ouchies. Very minor ouchies. Okay, whatever. We did it! Young Master, did you complete the test? Why, you have mastered the secrets of Fusion Temple? Master Nyanpa is waiting for you. I guess it should be Fushin, not Fusion. Fushin Temple. Especially because it's based on... what is it? What's the name of the actual province where the Southern Shaolin Monastery is? Fujian. So Fujian, Fushin, there we go. Anyway, I guess we're proceeding to the temple. He's gonna kind of explain what we did all that for. Because remember, there's this whole evil forest thing we've got to contend with at some point. So what does forest have to do with that? Let's find out. Excellent, Isaac. Oops, I kind of spat on my monitor. I am glad to see you master the secrets of Fushin Temple. We monks call the power you have obtained Ki. You seem confused, Isaac. This is called Force by the Western world, but it is really spiritual power. I will teach you, as I promised. Use this power to go through the forest. What would happen if you let loose this energy in the forest? Haha, you are curious, no? Monsters that wait in hiding would show themselves. You would then try to defeat them, would you not? Yeah, that's what we do. Sometimes you must let go of your belief that fighting solves problems. Monsters are cowardly. They will run once they know you can see them. They are creatures of the woods, so they do not get lost there. Are we done? Okay, well I guess that's a hint at least, if not a good explanation. Use this energy to find the monsters, then follow them. It is that simple. Now that I have passed my knowledge of Ki along, I am without worries. Farewell, Isaac. Take care of yourself. Anyway, that's gonna just about do it, I think, for today. Like I said, it's a pretty short little dungeon, but it's kind of got a lot of cute puzzles, a nice little design. So, as promised, I think that'll be the last thing I do on stream for today. But man, we made really good progress today. We went all the way through Kalima Woods, did Kalima Forest, or did Mercury Lighthouse, went back all the way through Kalima Forest. You know, we did it all. We did all the things. So, I don't want to do 2 forests in one episode, by which I mean I've been streaming for almost 4 hours. So, I'm gonna go do other things now. But, as per always, the tradition of Golden Sunday will continue. Next week, we will play more Golden Sun and pick off where we left off. By the way, now is maybe as good a time of any, as much as I love the fact that everything is based on real-world places. Remember how Laurel said this giant evil forest just like popped up overnight? You can talk to people that said like it was just a big flat land before. It seems immediately kind of unclear what forest Mogal is supposed to refer to, since there's just these random lost woods. But since it was a vast treeless prairie before, Mogal Forest was once a previous vast treeless prairie, not unlike the Mongolian steppe of Central Asia. Mogal, Mongol, yep, that's what it is. Anyway, I love that. Just such a fun little detail that's like very subtle, surprisingly subtle. Anyway, I really like it. Okay, cool. So, me opinion about the game aside, that's gonna do it, I think, for today. Oh, Tanner, I've been lurking. My Sega died, and I've been working on it. Ooh, that does sound like a whole ordeal. I've mentioned this before, but I live in fear of the day that all of my very precious Game Boy cartridges, their internal battery will one day die. So one of these days, I'm gonna have to learn how to replace that. We'll figure it out when it comes to it. It's really when it happens to my Pokemon Blue that I'll get upset. That's the one I'm the most worried about. But, we'll see. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for today, I think. So I hope you've enjoyed watching Golden Sun. We're gonna be back at it next Golden Sunday. So same time, same place in a week, 1:30 next Sunday. We will pick off where we left off. If you want to watch me play some other games, I don't know what I'll be playing yet, but probably we'll do something similar to last weekend. Maybe more Going Under if you guys want to see it. It's a fun game with a lot of humor. Probably more Three Houses because we're kind of close to the end, so we're, chugging right along. Yeah, something like that next weekend. So we have that to look forward to. All right, thank you so much for watching. Ooh, I'm gonna save because I totally forget to do stuff like that all the time. But there we go, game was saved. Alrighty, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have been Gray, you have been great, and have a great rest of your night. Bye, take care.